What am I singing? What song is that? Good morning, everybody. Hey, Don Adams. Come on, I know y'all know Don Adams. I know y'all know that song. You're probably saying it because I had the comments on it yet, though. Can y'all hear it? Probably not. Get smart, man. Come on. Y'all know that. Do y'all know anyone get it right? Yeah, there you go. Lori in the house. Lori in the house. Gotta get smart. Good morning, everybody. Oh, look, look, Tony Smith just subscribed. See, that's what happens. You get a shout out. Every time you subscribe, you get a shout out. That's what I love. Thank you, Tony Smith. That's how you support people. Good morning, everybody. Oh my goodness, do I got a lot in my mouth. I have no idea how I'm gonna get it out. I just don't even know where to start. I'm gonna be calm, just keep calm and prepare to tell the people what you're thinking about at this moment in time. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. Now, some people are gonna be upset with me on this one. I'm sorry, but how we go there? Oh, look at that, Blue Mugs in the house. I'm gonna give everybody a shout out. That's how you get subscribers. You gotta shout people out. Thank you, Blue Marks. Guys, I'm hippie. I'm not stupid. That's the difference. The difference between what is a stupid hippie? A stippy. I'm a hippie. Oh, look at that, Kai Freedom in the house, mama. Thank you, mama. Thank you, girl. I'm hippie. I'm not stippy. Okay, look at that. All right, a lot of things we got to, oh my goodness, from Ayurvedic medicine to doing everything you can to be smart. Grow Head 3.0 meds. Do everything you can to be smart. Do your own critical thought. Think for yourself. I need to talk about that. I need to make a list of the things I want to talk about. The other thing is, ooh, did y'all see Ty last night? Good Lord, good Lord. Ty had him and Tony had him too. The people still come. Look at that, surrounding the depths. Oh, I love that name. Oh no, sounding the depths, because we got to get deep again. We've been shallow too long. That's why I'm gonna talk about get smart. we have a CTU. We have a CTU, and we should have been PTUing. Does anybody know what the P stand for? Look at that, Look, Gerard, say something stupid. You gonna sit there and yell out everybody's name? Hell yeah, I am. I'm gonna give the people, we gotta do 100 names. I'm gonna give shout outs. I learned that as a child growing up on the outskirts of Washington, D.C. You got to give shout outs, people. Hang on. But I did, oh, look at that, Caprina Fernandez. Oh, goodness, I like the Latin name. Was that a Latin name? That's a Latin name, I think, right? I like the old boy, you got to go. Ooh, goodness. Ooh, do I want to talk about Puerto Rico a little bit too? It's just too much in my head. Did y'all know that Puerto Rico manufactured the majority of IV bags in America? And then the hurricane hit. Transit mans, two people together, they in love, y'all. Y'all love transit mans. That's two of them. That's the fact. I love husband-wife profiles. Husband-wife profiles are fun. They get in trouble a lot, but yeah. So we didn't help Puerto Rico. But they manufacture most of the IV bags. Amanda Boudreaux! Oh, that's French. That's French. I know, sir. That's some French. Are you Creole? Oh, Creole got some of the fun. And Boudreaux, I think that's is that French? I might be miscultural appropriation something. You know how nobody cares about cultural appropriation. Big J in the house. Y'all know Jonathan Close. John ain't here to play. He's still out there. I still believe in RIC. I'm still a direct democracy person. We got to give the world back to the people. And speaking of that, do everything you can. I'm not a stippy. We got to talk about get smart. We had a CTU. We should have had a PTU. and we always have no damn idea what's going on. J-Balls in his house. All right. Oh, look at that delivery guy, FedEx. They still rolling. Y'all still rolling, huh, bro? I keep seeing delivery trucks, UPS, FedEx. I drove past the Amazon. Do y'all got an Amazon military base in your neighborhood? Jennifer Carroll, I see her on the threads a lot. Love you, sis. They still delivering. I drove past the Amazon base this morning. All them trucks was fired up. It's fired up. Oh, I got some theories. I have all kind of theories as to what we're going through. I do, but I don't believe none of them. I have all kind of theories, but I always fall back on the truth. We never really. Jonathan Hogo. He goes by Hogo. Listen, this brother right here, did y'all see Hogo? He went to prison for y'all stinky behinds. And my stinky behind too. I ain't washed my behind. He went to prison for me. Why? Because the French are actually standing up for the whole world. And that's why they're on lockdown. Y'all on lockdown heard about D. Smith is in the house. Do I know you, D. Smith? Did we go to school? But the French, they did it for everybody. They were trying to stand up and say, Viva la France! Give the governments back to the people. You've had CTUs. You should have had PTUs. P is for preventative. Put the bars in the house. Ooh, Jack Bauer, 24. I gotta find a 24 entry. Oh, I love that show. Did y'all watch 24? Anybody watch 24? I love 24. It started out beep, 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 beep. Did anybody notice that all the beeps were with the time and the day it's supposed to be? Buddha cat in the house. Oh, Elaine, goodness gracious. It's an organic place just opened up down the street. Cause y'all know her son opened that organic spot down in Philly. Well, close to Philly. One opened down, two of them actually opened up with it, and that's how you fight the virus. That's how you fight. That's one of the ways. Liz Netherlands, ooh, in the Netherlands in the house. That's how you fight the virus. And do everything you can, people, to fight the virus. Yes, I'm a follow up on yesterday. We got to follow up on the PhD. He was not a doctor. We need to clarify and speak the truth. And the truth is, yeah, crazy as hell. Mary Britt in the house. I see her on the thread all the time. Welcome to YouTube. I didn't put it on Facebook yet. I'm running my mouth. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that. We're gonna have to, because they hitting me all kind of memes this morning. Bofine ain't playing. No, Bofine, Lord, we're gonna have to have a conversation and talk. Inhaling hot mist and steam is Ayurvedic medicine. Been doing that for a minute. Loco Coco! And that she ain't lying. She ain't lying. Y'all see her on the thread. She ain't lying. She Coco she cuckoo. She ain't lying. She cuckoo. Oh man, she cuckoo. But that's a good name. Good name. That's a fitting name too. I might, you know what? I hope we're bringing people over to YouTube. Hang on, let me get ready. So I'm gonna talk about the, ooh, Shelly Musker. Ooh, that's my sister. That's my sister. Oh, she's smart. She's smart as hell. You see her post. She is smart as hell. Ooh, and I want to talk about Ty and Tony for a bit. Ooh, I gotta tell y'all something. You know what? No, man, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna say, always be careful what you say online. Paul Jones in the house. Be careful. Y'all don't see Debbie Lou Signet around here no more for a reason. All right, just be careful. Be careful. When we're little people, and I'm a little person. Ty becoming a big person. Tony becoming a big person. Me, I'm gonna stay little. I'm staying off of Facebook. Hey, Eddie Jenkins. I'm gonna do the best I can on YouTube, because YouTube is shredding up their shadow banning. Facebook, I don't know. They're low. Be careful. All right, hang on. Let me switch over to the discussion music. There's a whole lot I gotta talk about today. I don't even know where to start. Y'all not gonna like me. I'm even gonna. Oh, look, I forgot VK. Who's that? Max Wiseman. What's up, brother? Ooh, it's a whole lot. Oh, look at him. Look, FedEx, man, he can't even get in that building. Look, poor guy. Well, you know what? I say poor guy. He ain't poor now. He got that bag and he got that little scanner device. Soon he gonna have a gun and a mask and everything else. What's up, Big Scots? You know, if your government loved you, they wouldn't be mass producing drones right now. Does anybody know if the drone production shut down? They still producing drones and tanks and bombs and bullets and all that stuff? Or they making masks for everybody so they can breathe hot, moist air so they don't get the cuckoo virus, huh? What are they doing? Did they stop? Marta's in the house. Puente. I can't pronounce the rest of that, sis, but I love it. Like Puente. That sounds Spanish too. Spanish, now y'all got them the finest women in Spain down in Spanish, Latin. But then again, they came from Spain. That's where them genetics came from. They went down there and colonized with that blanket. They done took them hot smallpox down there, which is what's happening to us right now. Dean Will's in the house. Willis. Oh, I grew up down the street from some Willis's. Oh yeah. Oh man, you know what? We used to go fishing. We used to go catfishing all the time down there with the Willis's. Oh yeah, we used to go catfishing. That's when we used to swim in the lakes I told y'all about. Y'all thought I was lying with the snapping turtles and sucking in that water. HD Nelson 2003. Man, if I get 1,000 subscribers a day, I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be so excited. So excited. I'm gonna be so excited. All right, we're gonna start talking. Yes. Let everybody subscribe first. Then let me turn the music off first. I gotta pee. To be honest with you, I need that. That's so much. I'm excited. I'm like a dog. You have a dog? I think my dog got excited last night. I was walking in the kitchen. It was sticky stuff. He was excited. I was home. You ever get excited? You just start peeing, just start spotting. That kind of happens sometimes. You get excited. My tail gets to wagging. All right. Ooh, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start. But I am going to say this. There are professionals you have to listen to, and there are times you should listen to them. And there are platforms in which they can say more truthful things than false things. There was a Joe Rogan podcast I missed. I'm hoping that y'all saw it, and I think you need to watch the whole thing. There was a great epidemiologist, and don't ask me how to spell that. That was on there. All right, let me turn off Get Smart. We gotta get smart. I grew up on Get Smart. Get Smart was a great show. Sometimes you got all the tools. Sometimes you got the gun and the badge and the knife and the pocket watch. And Get Smart, he had the shoe phone. Y'all remember the shoe phone? And sometimes you got all these fantastic, phenomenal tools, but you're using for all the damn wrong things. You're CTUing, you need to be PTUing. You are counter-terrorist uniting, but you need to be preventative terrorist uniting. There's a big difference. We need to become a preventative society. The only reason we're dealing with some sort of a planned demic, pandemic, fake demic, real demic, I don't know what kind of demic it is, a bioweapon, non-bioweapon. The bottom line is something trying to kill us because we have not been utilizing our technology the right way. I think personally, you know what my theory is? Let me turn this music off. I think Jack Bauer run around there. I think Trump is calling Jack Bauer and the prime ministers and the president, did y'all get the terrorists yet? I think that there's something going on and they're just not telling us the truth. They're just not telling, and they can't tell us the truth. And I'm okay with that. I'm not supposed to know the truth because then you get a public panic and government can't do what they need to do. And I don't know what the hell that is, but they doing something. All right, let me bring up the comments, then we'll get going. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? How y'all doing in the pandemic? Everybody on lockdown? Everybody on lockdown. I posted yesterday, you know, it's my friends who spent time in prison, I got some of them. And they say, oh no, this is not a lockdown, baby. This is not a quarantine. This is called house arrest. It's called house arrest. They just didn't give you a nice little pretty bracelet to go with it. All the house arrest, not the pretty bracelet. Sometimes you got these phone shoes and you got CTUs and they have no idea what to do because they've been too busy watching the American people. Oh, they've been too busy watching the British people. Oh, they've been too busy watching people who aren't really terrorists. They've been used to silence political opposition and not protect the people. But the people paid for it. The people paid. They thought they was getting a terrorist unit, somebody to fight some terrorism, not a unit that actually spies on the people. And the problem with that is when it really comes time to get out there and fight some people that's trying to give you some bioweapons or something, when it's really time to get out there to fight a flu that's trying to figure out how to kill you, you wish you were preventative. So it fits both ways. It's not just CTU running around with a gun, but it's also human beings running around with smoothies, organic food, natural foods, fueling their immune system, putting their head under a hot bowl in a blanket, breathing in hot air. Oh goodness, I don't even know where to start. Let me calm down. I gotta get organized. I'm not organized. I'm not, because it's just too much going on. Good morning, everybody. Yes, share the video of how the Spanish flu coincided with the implementation of electricity and our satellite GPS system coincided with another health crisis, Susan, and they're not unrelated. They're not unrelated. I've not gotten on a boat that they're 100% together, holding hands, walking down the street, but they're not unrelated. You know, there's no question that the advent of EMF starts affecting people, and everybody at different levels. There's some people 5G effects and some people not as much, some people 4G. Everybody's different. Keep in mind there's 7 billion different human being monkey things running around this planet. Ain't none got a damn clue what's going on. But we like to pretend like we got a clue, don't we? Oh, but we got to get smart. We got to get smart. There's a lot of good factors. Oh, goodness. All right. Good morning, everybody. Has TSA arrested any terrorists? See, Hillary, that's the problem with you. You got the wrong name. You shouldn't be Hillary. You trolling Hillary. You're trolling Hillaryisms. Yeah, well, if we had a CTUing, yeah, they probably got somebody, but that was not their job. And I think the problem is that when you actually run into a problem and you need to go chase some terrorists in your country that are releasing bioweapons that they've released around the world, or they're releasing something that can become a really nasty plague if it spends enough time in the human body, you can't catch them. You're used to going after Mali, and you should have been going after somebody else. And his name was never Habib, though, because it's never poor Arab people. It's never them. Nope, there's always somebody well-financed, all right? So I think there's a whole lot of stuff that's going on. It's just a theory. Disclaimer, I have no damn idea what's going on. All I know is we shouldn't be here. That's what I know. I know we've always had great technology that we have not utilized for the human race. We utilize it for greed, and that's our problem. We're stupid. We need to get smart. So yeah, no, they haven't captured terrorists because they were never looking for. You know what? But let me tell you what I think on that. I think that some do, right? FBI, good people. CIA, good people. Homeland Security, good people. I had to think about that for a minute. TSA, I don't have no damn idea what TSA is doing, but that's just me. Supervisor level on down, they're just your brothers, your sisters, your cousins. They're just people. They want to be heroes. They're good people. But once you get to the supervisor level and above, things change. I'm gonna tell you why. You know why I think it is? They say, well, go ahead and tell us what you think, all your experience in the counterterrorism in the acronym agency. I got no experience there at all. Disclaimer, I have no damn experience in any of that. Ooh, I didn't even turn the, hold on, wait. Ooh, I'm bad. Hang on. Hang gummit, I'm sorry. Diana's over there on VK. And let me go find her. Hold on. Ooh. I have no experience in the acronym agencies. I got experience all over corporate America, though. And I'll tell you what I know from that. When I got to that supervisor level, things changed. I don't want to show that one. When you get to that supervisor level, you are no longer working. You are no longer in your passions. You're no longer doing the things that you need to do. And if you worked in corporate America and you saw this as well, and you were climbing that ladder, you speak up. Tell me if you saw something different. I went from like solving problems as an engineer to getting spreadsheets. Spreadsheets. That's what's gonna murder the world. Spreadsheets are the cause of every damn problem we got. You know why? Because once you get that spreadsheet, here she go right here. Once you get that spreadsheet, everything changes. It's not about solving problems. It becomes about numbers and money. Once I got into management, there she go. Let me fix her real quick. Once I got into management, then I realized what money really was, what money really does. All right. Good morning, Diana. She got to get smart first. Supervisor level and up, you're broken. And I saw that in the pharmaceutical industry. I saw that in the chemical industry. I saw that in the fast food industry. I saw that everywhere I went. Once you get to that supervisor level, that passion goes away for healing people, helping people, heroing, getting cats out of trees. Supervisor level on up, it becomes about spreadsheets. Everything becomes a number. Everything becomes about power and money. And that's why I couldn't keep going up. I had to stop. Once I got into the management level, I realized wow, I became a software engineer because I wanted to help and solve problems. Now I realized that's not what it's about. It's about numbers. Foster care, you get into child protection. Once you get above the supervisor level, you start counting numbers. Things become about percentages, like pharmaceutical companies. Oh, well, 95% gonna respond this way. The other percent, we really don't give a damn about. So it's not about CTU. It's not about the acronym agencies, not about the fast food companies, the pharmaceutical companies, government. It's about people have passion for things, and once you put money in between, you break it, you ruin it, because then it becomes about percentages, because you got to make profit. Profit in money or profit in power as government. So that's what I say. We always have amazing abilities and we screw it up because we got that authority like supervisor level and above. I gotta show y'all something. I gotta show you a couple things. So first of all, let me clarify from yesterday, because we gotta keep moving forward in information. Oh, happy first day of spring. Yes, Sheepleson says happy spring. Happy spring. Hot air kills bacteria that cause viruses, okay? Ayurvedic thing. They discovered that 5,000 years ago. Now, whoever this, the doctor, I forgot his name already. He's not a doctor, PhD. He basically repeated what we've done for a long time. When you have respiratory problems, you've been at your Walmart, early on, when it's still in your nasal cavities, you just breathed it in. If you get hot enough air, it's gonna kill that virus. So he said that. Was his approach weird? Okay. Don't put a blow dryer up your nose. He didn't even say that. He just said you get the mist and the hot air and stuff like that. Don't get the carpet steamer, the steamer in your nose. But they actually make devices for that, right? What do they call the steam breathers or steam rebreathers, steam whatever, vaporizers. Right? But they got the ones that fit on your nose and you breathe in that really hot air. They've known this for a long time. They've known for thousands of years that this stuff works. Now, mind you, if zombies were chasing me and there was some kind of pandemic turning people into zombies and you would die if you didn't have that hot air to kill it, I'd do that. But not only that, it's not about here from your nasal passageways on out. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm hippie, but I ain't stippy. I'm hippie, I'm not stippy. It's worked for a long time. But even from here on out, see what we could have done? Like you see this guy got a shoe phone right there. We could have said, this actually makes sense. Instead of shunning the guy and say, because he's not a doctor, which by the way, I kind of expected that. Right? I don't expect innovation to come from people who are above that spreadsheet level and above. People who are in industries driven by that spreadsheet. I expect these things that work for thousands of years and they never knew why to come from Ayurvedic people. From people people trying to make money. People who are hippies. He was like a dietitian. He believed in eating healthy foods to cure disease, things like that. So I expected to come from him. But what we probably should have done if we had a pharmaceutical industry is they would have said, well, let me see. Well, what if we get it before it gets to the nose? What if we make breathing devices that heat up the hot air to over 133 degrees that kills that cuckoo virus and then breathes it in the nose as cool air? You'd have rebreathers or breathers at all your Home Depots and Walmarts and whatever else that would literally kill anything, any bacteria that goes through your nose. What if we didn't make drones? What if we realized that and we realized that, wow, tens of thousands of people die by bacteria breathed through their nose during flu season. So during flu season, anyone who wants can wear this mask and go on out of, how about the whole suit? Not just the mask, the whole damn suit. If we actually had government that didn't have that spreadsheet level supervisory and above, wasn't about power and profit, we could produce them for everybody. We could have mass produced suits, masks, hot air, all of that. So that while you go out in public, you're not, see, this is what you do if you give a damn about herd immunity. Herd immunity. That's what I'm saying. I don't really get in anybody's camp too much, and I make statements for me. I don't make statements for y'all. You got to go figure this out yourself. You got to do your own research, use your own common sense, and then you go do what works for you. But we as a collective have to say, you know what? I like that. And that makes sense. And this could work, but how do we utilize that for the mass benefit of everybody? As opposed to, no, not your way, my way. And so could we mass produce bodysuits and breathers for everybody? Of course we could. If you had a government, they would have been doing it. If they actually cared about your health, they would have been doing it. No, because it's not your government. Well, I don't know where you live. I know where I live. This ain't my government. I don't know what the hell this is. And then since I was a kid, I had that question. Now I really realized when problems happen, we was CTU. We was watching the people. We were citizen terrorist unit. We weren't countering terrorism. We were trying to counter patriots. We were trying to counter peaceful people who disagree with the government. We were trying to counter people who were doctors creating new devices and ideas because they were going back looking at Ayurvedic medicine, curing cancer or curing things part of the time. But of course, the pharmaceutical industry couldn't find that profitable, and those doctors automatically started dying, right? That's why I'm saying that as a collective, we got to admit that we really don't know anything individually, but together we know a lot. And so we have to utilize that information to go forward. So I want to say that on that. And there was actually, I could show it to you if you want. There's actually another great talk. There was a doctor who was telling you about the coronavirus and steam. He tried to tell you this, but nobody listened to him. I think he's from India. That's why y'all ain't listening. There's something wrong with y'all. That's why nobody listened. It was a month ago. Hang on, let me find this. No, I still look like, ooh, breaking. There's a news conference happening right now, and I ain't gonna watch. I don't really care. I don't care about the official statement. I care about the people who are feeding the information to the officials I'd never trust for them to tell you what they want to tell you. There was an epidemiologist on the Rogan show. We might watch a few minutes of it today because he said some very powerful things I think we need to pay attention to. Michael Osterholm. Anybody know Michael Osterholm? He wrote a book, and well, he's an epidemiologist. He talked about things we can do. One of his statements is, you do anything you can do to prevent the spread of a pandemic. If you're sentient. If you're not sentient, then don't do nothing. You can make a CTU, you can fake it. Y'all see this kit right here? You can fake you're fighting viruses, you can fake you care about public health, you can fake, this is a fake set. You can buy this. You can buy it from Amazon. They'll send one of their trained warriors to come out here and bring it to you right here. So you get your fake plastic gun, the fake bag, 'cause he always had that bag, and he was jumping, flipping. He was always on the phone with the president. He was always with the president. He was always talking to the president. Then you got all this plastic faking, and you got the fake doll, he comes with it too. You can fake like you're trying to counter terrorism, or you can prevent terrorism. You can fake like you're fighting disease, or you can prevent fighting disease. Check this doctor out. What is his name? Oh, I got my pop-up. Cuckoo virus, doing something. COVID-19, I think it's COVID-107. I think you got a COVID-19, you probably got a COVID-107. But either way, if it is COVID-19, it's completely biological, completely natural. It's still trying to evolve to become COVID-107 and murder everybody. I don't like to fight over what the conspiracies are. I like to say, hey, listen, we got a problem. How do we move forward? I always find out, tell me if I'm wrong, but I always find out that it never, ever, ever is about the conspiracy. It's never about the details in the conspiracy don't matter. It's whether or not we deal with the principles to get better. That's what I've always seen. I could be wrong. That's what I've always seen. Let me see if this window will work right. Here's this. Nope. Oh, look at it. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at the accident in that. I didn't press the wrong button. All the corporations, they got supervisor level above in spreadsheets. That's your problem right there. All your problem. That's right. That's why you never had a counter-terrorist unit, anyone countering terrorism or preventing terrorism or preventing disease, because they got to make money. And I think Christ said something about that earlier. It went past, scrolled past. Couple things. Ooh, speaking of that, I still got to talk about, so much on my mind at this moment in time. Nope, that's not it. Hang on. I want this doctor to give you just 1 minute of what he needs to tell you. You need to do anything you can for you and yours. I'm not interested. I listen sometimes to what the officials say, but I'm never interested in the official story. Oh, another pop-up. Cuckoo virus pandemic. British elites did not see themselves as part of something, part of the problem. Oh, come on, man. This is Britain's fault too. It's Britain's fault. It's biology's fault. They got spreadsheets. I didn't work with the MDA over in Britain. Oh, it's their fault too. It's all their fault. And it's our fault too. Hang on, let me show you this doctor right here. Don't be a hippie. Don't be stippy. Do not be stippy. You need to use your own brain, do your own research, listen to what everybody got to say, and then you make a decision. Now I'm still gonna leave a little pop-up right here because I don't have any other advertising. The only advertisements I see on any videos now is Amazon, who just hired 100,000 delivery people so we all can be under house arrest because we did a crime. We did a crime. Y'all know what our crime is? Anybody know what our crime is? Our crime, we spend money. That's what we did. Because I think behind all of this is still, it's a worldwide currency issue. They're not telling you that. Now, whether they're fighting with bioweapons or whatever, I don't know. But what I do know is behind whoever's doing this is very well funded. They're probably printing the money. We knew the Fed was collapsing. We knew central banks had issues with us. And now we're in debtor's prison. That's what you are. You're in debtor's prison right now. You can still go outside, but that's going to end soon. Debtor's prison. They're going to lock you in that house, send that Amazon truck to your house with the FedEx or UPS or somebody to deliver all your goods. But you're going to be in prison so they can figure out how to adjust the world's currencies to let you out. I know, it actually makes sense to me. It's kind of scary, but listen to what this doc has to say.
That day-to-day common respiratory viral infections that we otherwise call cold and flus can be effectively controlled by steam inhalation alone if you do it at the very beginning. But the question is, can rapidly spreading Chinese coronavirus be controlled with steam inhalation?
Okay, there you go. So we know that it does. They've known that it does. We've known in the Ayurvedic communities it did 5,000 years ago. But the question is, does it with cuckoo virus? The name of this video, if you want to look it up, but I always post links for this stuff. Can steam inhalation be used to control new coronavirus? Dr. Jayanath Alwis not something. There you go.
Answer for that is, we don't know at this stage because there is no publication or research on this matter. But there is a good clue. We may get some help from steam to control this coronavirus as well. We'll put it this way. 15% of common respiratory tract infections, that is flus and colds, we get day to day are by, again, the coronavirus. It is different to the virus that we got, the new coronavirus that's spreading in China, but they're both in the same family. The body response or the body cure both of these viruses in the same immune mechanism. And what the steam inhalation does, it helps this immune system to take its time to control this viral infection. So there's similarities here. So if one member of the family can be crushed by steam inhalation, it doesn't matter how strong or how virulent the other member of the family, so we can still give it a try. Especially a stage where it's been now exactly a month till this disease was discovered, and there are about 170 people lost their lives and more than 7,000 people infected and rapid spreading. So there is no drug for this one, and there is no vaccination for this disease. So that's where it is most important. If we can control one member of this corona family through steam inhalation, why shouldn't we try this coronavirus, new coronavirus, at a very early stages with other medical supports available? So let's see how a common respiratory tract infection with virus that we face every day will be controlled. So it is not just steam inhalation. I would correctly say it's a triple heat therapy. It involves steam inhalation, wash the face with warm water, as well as gargling the throat with warm water. So let's see first how we do effectively the steam inhalation. So for that you need to have 2 to 3 liters, that is kettle full of water, boiling water, and a container to pour it, and a blanket to cover the steam. So you need to understand we have 2 nostrils. So you'll be breathing steam through one nostril at a time, and you should be changing over the time. So
there we go. I get to doing that sometimes. So I'm not going to continue too deep into this. The point is, I actually promote this guy, this doctor, that other PhD, ancient India, the Egyptians, ancient China, and all these old Ayurvedic cures and what your grandmama told you, because it works. Yes, Hillary, I did pee. That's exactly why. All right, see now, why y'all put me on blast like that? But no, I promote these things because I don't get sick. I don't get sick. Like, the most dangerous people on this planet are people like me. All right? And I know that. I know that. I don't need a test to tell me that. I know that I'm dangerous, like we talked about yesterday, because I don't get sick. I don't have symptoms. I don't know why. Had nothing to do with me, I don't think. Maybe I'm lucky. Maybe it happened. Maybe I listened to Dr. Colin Campbell. Maybe I read enough books and now I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Maybe I changed my diet. Maybe it's because I worked in Big Pharma and I know who not to trust. I'm the most dangerous person because I don't show any symptoms. And if I walk around, I can give it to people and I'll never know. There's no one who's more scared right now than me. Why? Because I got kids. I got a mama. I got friends. And I don't want to give them anything unknowingly. Like, the dangerous thing about this is that it can sit there for 2 weeks and you don't know. Some people will never know they got it. Other people have like minor cases of it, and other people die from it violently. I don't know if that means it's a bioweapon. I don't know if that means it's mutating. I don't know any of that stuff. And half the time the epidemiologists are trying to figure it out. What I do know is if I think I'm sick, I'm gonna stay away from people, right? Because like we talked about yesterday, I forgot who else said they were going to visit their parent, the elderly, right? They are more at risk than anything else. And so we have to, when this particular thing happens, don't worry about the identity, don't worry about the cuckoo flu, the Canova virus, the swine flu, the pig flu, whatever it is. Are we learning from the event? Are we keeping with our CTUs? Are we being preventative? Or are we utilizing what we know to make a stronger human race, a stronger herd community? Are we utilizing the things that we trust in, that we were taught by a system of officials with spreadsheets? Are we using some common sense? Okay. And that's what it is. We need to have common sense. Hey, Gene, talking about the boomers. That's the other question I have. What are you gonna call the babies when all this is done? This too will come to an end. Don't worry, don't get so fed up and worried about it. This too will come to an end. I'll post a link. You can watch this whole video, but I need to wrap up that and preface it with this. There are 9 or 7 billion different human bodies on this planet, and you have no idea what actually might work for other people. You have no idea what steps somebody can take that keeps them safe from this one or the next one. The COVID 8000, whenever they release that. And so the other thing is, the Joe Rogan interview with this epidemiologist was huge, huge. We are a global community now.
I had no idea I wanted to do this.
What
Both my parents are in medicine, but they didn't push me at all. So I worked in marketing, but I just felt like I was lacking something at the end of the day, and so I started volunteering in emergency departments.
See, that's that.
And that's
healing,
what hopefully this is.
That's that healing consciousness, like we talked about the other day. I think there's an engineering consciousness. There are people who have a passion for healing, people who have a passion for music, people who have a passion for things. And they should go into those things. But as that lady just mentioned, she goes into it and she finds out that the people who actually run it, it's more about a spreadsheet. I need to give this man a little bit of time, because Michael Osterholm, I don't know what book he wrote, but he is fantastic. Oh, you know what? I need to look at the comments, but I need to show you this real quick.
And this is what's unfolding here, and this is what I think
thing.
is such an important. And I said why the timing is so important, because Joel, we really have got to get information out to the public. There is so much misinformation right now, and we're going to be in this for a while. This is not going to happen overnight, and I worry. I keep telling people we're handling this like it's a corona blizzard. 2 or 3 days, we're back to normal. This is a coronavirus.
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. Because I see multiple people saying you don't want to talk about a virus that's killing old people. If you don't want to talk about it, we won't talk about it. I'm fine with that. I don't want to drive the conversation. Y'all tell me what y'all want to do. I'm always saying we need to look out. I'm always the one saying that we need to speak up for the voiceless. So if y'all don't want to talk about it, we won't talk about it. I might not like the comments today. No, I like all the comments, Lori. I like all the comments. I can't be about me. I'm not worried about the cuckoo virus. I don't care about the cuckoo. So this is the other thing I'm gonna say, right? So I say I'm a hippie. I'm not stippy. I'm not gonna take the vaccine. I don't care what happens. I'm not ever gonna take it because I don't have to take it. But there might be people who do. And see, this is the part where the hippie's gonna be upset with me. And sometimes you gotta have a real conversation about that, right? I don't have an issue with pneumonia, so I'm not gonna take the pneumonia vaccine. I don't have an issue with colds. I'm not gonna take the cold or Canova vaccine. I don't have an issue with chicken pox. I'm not gonna take that. But is it possible that there are people out there that these things can help? See, we can't be cuckoo. We can't be cuckoo and go so far to say that everything the medical community has created is foul. Can't do that. That's stupid. That's stippy. Everything they created was based on profit. Their whole model's based on profit. The vast majority is. But we got real issues. And like what this man actually here talks about is, I think it's 150 medications are made overseas that people would die from if they didn't have in like a few days. We are a worldwide population. We ain't got time for this. We don't have time to be shut down, whether it's for whether it's for a global pandemic that we could avoid it, whether it's for global terrorism because people hate us in other countries we've spread things to, or we starting up wars there. We don't have time for this. A lot of people are gonna die. We keep playing shut down the planet. The planet has to move forward. We always have to constantly move forward. And so if we can't talk about those things, then we got an issue. And I'm not into self-censoring. So when it comes to vaccines, I lean towards Del Bigtree. I do. I lean toward Dr. Del. Why? Because he's the one who doesn't seem like he's interested in the spreadsheets. He seems to be that one. And he's not anti-vax, if you listen to him. He is anti the profitable spreadsheet of us not testing these things, So when I talk about the cuckoo virus, it's from the perspective of the people who might need the help. I'm not one of them. I'm just not one of them. I'm don't know what's wrong with me. I'm an alien. That's what it is. I'm an alien. I don't get sick, but I'm not here for me. I don't live for me. I live for other people. I'm here for a collective. So that's what I'm gonna talk about. But if you want to talk about it, we'll have to talk about it. We'll just keep moving on. I think we're supposed to do things for other people. Del is in the doc, G. Del Bigtree was on the show Doctors. Del is not against them, people. Stop it. Let's be honest. He is not anti-vax. When I say we are anti-vax, Del is against no testing of vaccines. He's against using less tests for vaccines than you do headache medicine. So he's not anti. He's anti-industry of vaccines. He's anti the model. He understands that the model we currently have isn't for children. The model we have isn't doing what epidemiologists tell us. The model we have isn't using technology responsibly, right? The tool is never the problem. It's always the people. It's always the application. They don't test this stuff because they never had to, right? Who was it, Reagan? Reagan created that law that said that, well, I think it was Reagan. Wasn't it Reagan? Damn it, but he did it twice. he did it with the chemical companies, and he did it with the vaccines, where the federal government had that vaccine defense fund, right? If the pharmaceutical industry couldn't be sued for the vaccines they made, they didn't have to test them no more. Like at that point in time, everything was collapsing because they were making people sick. So they needed that law. They were going to stop making vaccines because they weren't working. So many of them weren't working in so many people. Right? Because the approach, you can't have one treatment for everybody. And that's what he's fighting for. There are some people who need this, some people need that, some people need that, but you can't make a lot of money doing that. You make your most money when you say, everybody get this and we're going to force it. And so what Dell is a healer. There's a difference between someone who's anti-technology and someone who is completely anti-technology and someone who is on the other side. He's not anti-the technology. He's anti the application. He's anti the profit, right? We need the best technologies to help the people, consentingly, not forced. So, I mean, that's my perspective. Y'all can say I'm wrong. Every Dell Big Tree video I watch, I listen to what he says. I also read between the cracks. I don't think he's anti-vax. I think he's common sense. If you need it, then you go do it. Based in some common sense practices, not based in buying legislation and forcing it in your body. He's on today. Yes, he is on today, Christina. Everybody has to watch Dr. I'm telling you, he's the only one I trust when it comes to it. He's the only one I trust. I don't trust the hippies. I don't trust the stippies. I trust the person who's worked with it, who seems to be fighting the spreadsheet. Seems to be fighting the profit side of it. Everything is just a tool. It's just technology, people. It's like GMOs. People don't like my stance on GMOs. I love you to death, but I don't care. I don't care. It might be the genetic engineering down the road has an application. Today it doesn't. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I've never seen one that I like. I've never seen any genetic engineering that did anything good. It needs to stay in the laboratory. It shouldn't be in the water. Shouldn't be in the food, shouldn't be in school lunches. It needs to be in a laboratory until it actually works and does what we need it to do and doesn't destroy the ecosystems. I'm a common sense person. I'm not an extreme person at all. I might have a lot of extreme friends. Like Dell has a lot of extreme followers. I'm not the go live in the woods in a box well, I did say that yesterday, didn't I? But that was only for a few minutes. I'll go live on my side of the mountain, but I ain't gonna stay there. I ain't gonna retire. I'm gonna retire on my side of the mountain. We have to do what we can for everybody we can, right? And not get too extreme. Dr. Thomas Cowan, 5G is a problem. Jennifer, I know it's related. There's no question about it. Most of the diseases of our time are about technology. Right? They're about technology, whether it's chemical technology in the water, whether it's coming out of these towers, the 5Gs, the smart meter, whether it's the plastic, whether we misuse technology, we completely misuse it. And this is why we have to have open dialogue and talk and have discourse and have people who disagree and people who agree and state why they disagree and agree and let the collective hive mind figure out which direction we go. With the sovereignty intact, where even the group, 7 billion people or 6 billion people, 9999999 might agree. But they can't abuse the one for what they want to do. And the best thing, if somebody mentioned Michigan's at Megs, the best thing with 5G, the best hearing you need to listen to are the doctors in Michigan at that Michigan hearing. That's the best one. Anytime someone questions 5G, I just say, listen to that doctor. That's all you got to do. And some people hate doctors. I don't hate doctors. Like I said, I'm not extreme. I get in a car accident, I need your assistance. Don't watch my videos online, But when it comes to health, I know that you have no idea what you're doing. Every doctor I've met is sick. But when it came to 5G, how many doctors were at that hearing? We can't hate doctors. We have to have an issue with the system, not the identities and the people. And she told you right there, I forgot her name, somebody will post her name. She said 5G causes DNA damage, or 4G causes DNA damage, and it causes cancer. And we have documented cases of that. There's no question that 5G does. And that's the end of the discussion. Like after that, I mean, it's fun conspiracy theory. Let's talk about what it does and why it does it, who does it, when does it, what does it do? And the bottom line is you can't roll that out on the public. You can't abuse the public with that. And so that's all I do. I don't, but you gotta use the professionals. Remember, the professionals are people who have a passion. They get put into a system that's about money and power, but they have a passion. And that's why actually I like this doctor here. Well, he's not a doctor, epidemiologist, Michael Holstrom. He's got a few things he's got to say. That's why I appreciate him, because in this platform, he can say what he needs to say, I think, for the most part. But the official story that'll come from that group that's listed underneath of him, the CDC, is going to be an official statement. That's what they need the public what to do, right? From him, I think you can get the raw information. Once they massage it and make it fit to the public, then you get the official statement. So I don't care about the official statement. I care about the people with the passion who have something to say.
Winter. And we're going to have the next 3 months or more, 6 months or more, that are going to be like this. And, so far this thing has been unfolding exactly as we predicted it. We and our center put out a piece on January 20th and said...
I think I skipped past what he was saying. He said that this is not a blizzard. He said it's a winter, right? And this is why this is important. Because a lot of people think there's only 2 weeks. Not 2 weeks. It's not 2 weeks. Jeff Bezos been meeting with the White House for, they said, every day. And now he's hiring 100,000 people to get out there and start driving food to people. And I'm sure in Britain you'll find the same thing. Canada, you'll probably find the same thing. This is not a short-term thing, right? Will you listen to what they're saying if you want, but always pay attention to what they're doing. This is a long-term lockdown. This is not a blizzard, it's a winter. This is gonna take a while to blow through.
But this is gonna spread worldwide. At the time, people said, no, it's just China. We put out a piece the first week of February and said, this is going to pop probably the last week of February, first week of March, because what happens is it has what's called an R0, or a doubling time of these every 4 days. So it increases doubling every 4 days. So if you go from 2 to 4 to 8 to 16, it takes a while to build up. But when you start going from 500 to 1,000 to 2,000 to 4,000, that's what we're seeing happen in places like Italy. We're beginning to see it in some ways up in Seattle. It's what happened in China. And, when people are confronted with that, suddenly this low risk phenomena that everybody talks about isn't so low anymore. And that's what we need to prepare people for.
Now, what can be done? Like, what can the average person...
Chunk that up, make a decision based on that. My decision based on that is I should be prepared probably for 6 months to take care of myself, to take care of my people and the people around me best that I can. I should not prepare for 2 weeks. I should not believe that I'm gonna be out of this. And it's always better to prepare for the worst, expect the best, but prepare for the worst, right? That this thing is blowing through, that they don't have any ability possibly to control whatever it is. Maybe one's a bioweapon, maybe one is the real flu, maybe it's caused by 5G, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. It doesn't change what I need to do. Right? I know I don't get sick. I know I need to spend time away from people who have debilitated immune systems or the elderly. I know I need to speak up for the elderly and say, people, listen, if you got old people next door, you need to make sure that they have the things that they need. I know I shouldn't be hoarding things from the grocery store because other people have needs. Just because I'm bigger and faster doesn't mean I should be hoarding it. It means I should be planting every seed I have to make sure. It'll be a wonderful thing if in 2 weeks we just all laughing at this and got big old gardens outside. Doing the right thing is doing the right thing. It doesn't really matter what's going on. You always want to do the right thing. And a piece of that, which I know some of y'all are fed up with, we have to say the things that people need to hear. A lot of people still don't know how to fight a cold. They think you fight a cold by going to your Walmart and getting a synthetic drug, or going to the Walgreens and getting a synthetic drug. That's how the pharmaceutical industry it wants you to fight. And we failed. We've lost that fight. We've lost that fight. Colds are still all over the planet. That's what I'm saying. You gotta, think about other people. All I'm saying. I'm not saying y'all not thinking about other people. I'm just simply saying, if it's true and it worked for somebody else, share that information and let other people make their decisions for them.
Person do. I see people walking around with masks on, wearing gloves. Is that nonsense?
Largely, yeah.
Did you hear that? Boy, oh goodness, I hate it. I had to go to Walmart last night. I hate myself. I had to go to Walmart last night. Oh my goodness. I don't know what's scarier to me, the people who work there, the people who shop there. I have no idea, but I had no choice. I had to get my toilet paper because nobody called me. I'm still mad with y'all. Yes, I am still mad with y'all. Everybody knew it was a run on toilet paper. Nobody called me. I think it was a Q thing. Didn't Q start that? Because I think the Q started that and everybody knew to go get toilet paper. They didn't tell nobody. So I had to go get my toilet paper last night. I was happy. Of course, I got me some seeds. And of course, the toilet paper was low and the seed aisles were full. The big catalog full of seeds. Why did I say that? Yeah, people had their gloves and their masks and stuff. But listen to what he's saying. Is it largely nonsense? Yes, it is. Why did I say, hey, listen, guys, I work with concrete and I do a lot of carpentry, cutting a lot of woods. I would not call it carpentry. It's like monkey putting wood together with like the glue, drills and nail E. That's what it is. It's not carpentry, but I do that. And I can smell the sawdust and I can smell the Portland cement right through those masks, but everybody bought the mask. Listen to what this man is saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
First of all, let's step back. The primary mechanism for transmission is just the respiratory route. It's just breathing. In studies in Germany, which just have been published literally in the last 24 hours, they actually followed a group of people who had been exposed to somebody in an automobile manufacturing plant. And then they had 9 people that, with this exposure, he said, if you have any symptoms at all, contact us. We want to follow up. And they all agreed. Well, they got infected. And so in the very first hours, just feeling bad, sore throat, they went in and sampled their throats, their saliva, their nose for virus. They did blood, they did stool, they did urine. And they found that at that very moment, when they first got sick, they had incredibly high levels of virus, sometimes 10,000 times that we saw with SARS, in their throats, meaning they were infectious at that point already, and they hadn't even had symptoms yet of really any nature. They weren't coughing yet.
Wow.
And that's where we're concerned, because that's the kind of transmission. It's, I always have said, trying to stop influenza virus transmission like trying to stop the wind. We've never had anything successfully do that other than vaccine, and we don't have a vaccine here. So what's happening is that people in public spaces are getting infected. And the way you need to address that is, unfortunately, if you're older, over 55, you have some underlying health problems, which unfortunately a lot of Americans do. We have obesity. Then right now you don't want to be in large public spaces. You're trying to potentially get infected. So you can take care of that part. As far as what can public health do, we can talk about this. We're not going to have a vaccine anytime soon. That's happy talk.
Happy talk. Happy. But that's what they're talking about. They're talking about the vaccines. No time soon. I used to work in pharmaceuticals. I'm not going to tell you I'm a professional. When it comes to that, I will tell you this. We trained and practiced on those procedures. I wrote some of them from the corporation I work for. And we didn't write procedures to develop vaccines in a week or two. And I'm not going to take it. I have no interest in taking it, but I will never tell other people not to. Okay? I'll tell you I won't, because my body is healthy. I don't know anything about your body. So you ask your doctor, you ask your naturopath, you ask your herbalist, you ask an epidemiologist, you figure you out. But I'll never tell other people what to do. I'm too old for that. Too old for that. Been there, done that. I don't tell you what to do in your marriage, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. I ain't gonna tell you what to do with your body. I tell you what I do, and I tell you if it works. And that's what I'm gonna tell you, and that's the end of it. So he had a lot of great things to say. I want y'all to watch him. I'm not gonna play any more of it. He nailed a whole bunch of things that were very, very interesting. And only the first 15 minutes of it. I haven't watched the whole thing, just the first 15 minutes. Good information of what to do. Now, y'all talking about the New World Order, so we got to hit the conspiracy side. Oh, Lord, what do I really think is going on? Oh, goodness gracious. It's New World Order. It's definitely New World Order. Why, historically, have our lords and kings released viruses on us to control us? Hell yeah, they have. Hell yeah, they have. Gosh. Sum it up. I'm gonna sum up what I think. I think there was a currency issue in the world. I think they want a new world order. They want a one world currency. We knew the central banks were collapsing. America's the world's reserve currency. They needed an excuse to shut down society so they could do the adjustment they needed to do. The cuckoo virus was already out there, hot and popping, but also probably a bioweapon they developed with the cuckoo virus. It's foggy to me in the middle, whether somebody released it, something accidentally got out, or someone's using it as a terroristic threat because they're mad at America. They're upset at the central banks. They want to be the Rothschild bank. I have no idea. Those are things that we're not allowed to know. That's like global power level. We're at monkey level. They don't tell us these things. So being locked in your house is not a pandemic issue. Your government doesn't care about you. There is something that's rolling out on a global scale. It's obvious when this thing that looks like COVID-19 hits, there's certain areas get devastated, others don't. And that's roughly all I'm gonna say on that, because we don't know. I have no idea what's happening in China. I have no idea. It's like in China, they're welding people in their apartment buildings. I don't know if that's happening. Could be. I mean, that's what governments have done it before, but I'm not a welder. I have to ask a welder, can you weld somebody in an apartment building? I guess you can, but you gotta be really lucky, right? It's gotta be the right type of metal. You need to arc weld it. You need to have the time. You need to make sure they don't have blankets and pillows and sheets and things at nighttime. They can stitch together that rope and get out of there. But I can't be concerned right now, unfortunately, with China because I'm in America and China's not a police state. We are, all right? I don't know what China does to their people. The narrative is they're bad to their people. I don't know anything about that. I know that we are. And so I focus on that. Del Bigtree is heroic. He is beyond heroic. Del Bigtree, and he's successful at being heroic. I'm not gonna say he's a hero, but he's heroic. He's doing heroic things, absolutely. Cat detergent can be kebab skewers stuck in the dirty, pointy side. Plant group solution. Okay. Kevin, you got me on that. We're not allowed to use cash anymore in shops here. And that's a good thing, Christine. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. We need to barter. We need to go back to bartering. Trade this for that, hopefully, but I guess you're talking about credit cards or something. We need to go back to bartering. And whatever the next currency they bring, like we talked about yesterday, we got to say hell no to it. Because we don't know what's happening at the global scale. At this point, we just need to free the human race. They believe we are overpopulated. Lori, I believe that. I believe that only because the kings and lords have always done it, right? I don't believe it because of the Georgia Guidestones. I believe it because of common sense. When the population gets too big, you need to cut some of them back. And that always is the case. And there's a lot of useless eaters. They don't like to share. Rich people on our level don't like to share. So of course, people own resources at that global level they don't want to share. So you got to cut back on the human population. And so it makes sense to me that, yeah, you would take like the common cold and make a bioweapon out of it and make sure that they look alike to reduce the population. I think that's a great conspiracy. And to me, it's not even a conspiracy. It is a theory that's based in reducing a population we know that they don't want. Pull your wireless out at night. Yeah, and turn it off. You know what the best thing to do, I tell people, Jennifer, is put it on a timer. Put your wire, you can get one of them cheap timers. You can't go nowhere. You can get it from Amazon. You have no choice but to buy from Lex Luthor or go to Walmart at some point in time. And put it on a timer. So it shuts off. When everybody's asleep, it should be shut off. And then you can have it turn right back on at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., whenever you get up. But at nighttime, you're getting all of that pumped in. Now, Wi-Fi routers aren't as dangerous as your cell phone, and they're not as dangerous as the towers if you got a 5G cell phone or 4G, because they're low power, right? You don't get a signal when you leave your house. There's a hint right there, in terms of networks. If you go outside and you got a Wi-Fi signal sent 100 feet from your house, you need to get a new Wi-Fi router. You're killing yourself. But if you go outside or inside, you still got a cell phone signal, you can still communicate with a tower 2 miles away. That tells you how much power you're operating under. So absolutely, turn the Wi-Fi off at night, put your cell phone on airplane mode. There's much going on than just the virus. They are done with the dollar. And the biggies are using the virus to give themselves a big bonus before the digital currency hits the planet completely. I agree, Debs, and I think it's worse than that. I think they're positioning. You know, like they're getting the new currency ready, but they're also positioning. They're reducing population and positioning. They're positioning countries and they're positioning that order, right? The new world order. So there's a lot that's going on, and none of us really know what's going on. Right? We should have enough common sense to know that this is not about a virus lockdown. You know, you don't lock the public down when you don't lock the public down when you have a virus. And if you're scared of viruses, you don't make tanks, drones, airplanes, bombs, things to murder people. You make biosuits, right? If you're a CDC, you start mass producing them 80 years ago after the Spanish flu. If you actually gave a damn. Now, if you don't give a damn, if your job is not to control disease, then you don't make biosuits. You don't promote information to help people. You don't promote healthy eating, living. You don't promote a stressful society that makes flus become pandemics. That's why I like the history of virus. I like the history of pandemics. And when you look at it, you realize every flu needs government help. They need help of the officials to become a pandemic. 5G is a danger to life with Dr. Catherine Horton. Thank you, Patricia. When people post the links, you're supposed to click on them and watch them. Do your research. The Deming new film by Dane Wimbington, that's another one. Live on geoengineering.org. If you care anything about, climate is changing, you want to spend time out there. Pedalgate, Pizzagate, Dr. Pizza, convicted at trial for attempted child something. So a lot of stuff there too, Patricia Hauser. Nobody's talking about Epstein didn't kill himself. Of course, he got away. And this is a good common sense thing too. If the officials don't care about catching Jeffrey Epstein and they let him get out of prison, or they kill if somebody else hung him, if you believe that, or it doesn't even matter what you believe. Because they knew about him for a decade and they didn't do nothing. And then when they found out about him, the Vatican, was it the Vatican or it was the royalty, the royals over in the UK, they shut up, was it ABC or CBS? These people don't care about your children. They don't care about Rape Island. They don't care about you being abducted. They don't care about you catching a cold or getting sick. Common sense. Recycle, repurpose, reuse, absolutely, Crystal. That's a sustainable society, right? Learning from our past. We don't do that very well. Once again, we can be a PTU, we can be a preventative terrorist unit as opposed to a CTU, a fake CTU, right? We fake being healthy. We fake like we care about health. We fake that we're fighting terrorism. We fake like we want to clean up the environment. We fake like we don't like fossil fuels, but we appreciate fracking, right? We are in a society that can live all like Americans, right? The what's wrong with the world right now? Outside of the fake global stuff that nobody's really telling us about in any of the news, everybody wants to be an American. If you really think about it, we're not an American, a Briton too, a Canadian. Everybody wants to be developed. Everybody wants to be modernized. And those are all where all the world struggles are coming from. But it's not modernized in a good way. It's modernized in a stupid way. It's an unsustainable way. It's utilizing technology in all the wrong ways that create lots of problems. You know, and this is why I'm fine with Wall Street collapsing. We talked about it yesterday. I still get my little hate mail from it. I'm invested in the stock market. Well, that's slavery. You shouldn't have done that. I know. Karma is the mother. I feel sorry for you, but we know. We've been living high on the hog for a long time. We got it coming. We got to recycle, reuse. We got to plant that hemp and get away from fossil fuels. The sun is coming out here about to be almost 80 degrees, which is why Hillary should be out there ripping that grass up, putting some food in. Can we form a group, common sense people on Hi? Is that another website? I had to cut a patient's sterile catheter yesterday with office scissors, which is ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous. The sterile surgical scissors had disappeared. Well, people are stealing. Well, disaster capitalism, whatever it is. But Lori, you know, another thing that, oh goodness, he said that was powerful. He said something to the effect of in America, and this isn't about America, but these examples might work in your country as well. Said something like, so we shut the schools down and 30%, something like 30% of the nursing staff all have children. So we need the nurses to take care of the people, but 30% of the nurses got to watch their kids at home because we shut the schools down. A lot of interesting things. We don't have a society built for sustainability. We have a society built for a collapse. We literally created a monster that we knew was going to collapse. And you got people with the flying monkeys are still trying to keep it going. You know, how in the world do we have a health industry or a medical industry that doesn't have everything it needs? Now, I bet if Lori was in MASH, I bet if she was over in the war zone and she was fighting for freedom, justice, and democracy, she'd have all the scissors that she needed for the war effort, not for the people effort, not for the citizen effort. These are the little clues in what, like we started out the discussion on, which is spreadsheets. As long as you got spreadsheet people, it's always about the numbers. It's not profitable to take care of your citizens to a certain degree. It's profitable to take care of your warriors. You know, we have a system that's fixable. We just gotta fix it. Does food grade peroxide kill as much? Well, that's a good question. I've got peroxide everywhere. I really don't use it. I like hot water. I kill things with hot water. Take a hot shower when you go out, come back in. Carry some peroxide alcohol with you. Just wipe down the tops, the surfaces, stuff like that. But as far as like Perel and antibiotics, I don't use them. You can use them. I don't use them. I'm a biological creature. I don't believe in chemical solutions for biological creatures because it works for me. I've been working on my body for a very long time, and it works great biologically. When you start introducing the chemicals and synthetics, then it's too much question, too much problem for me. But as far as on surfaces, that makes a whole lot of sense. Peroxide kills fungus on your toes. Okay, Christine. I'm not sure that I want to put that on my toes. I'm not sure peroxide wants to be on my toes. I don't think I try to put peroxide, then they might run. They might, oh no, we ain't staying here. No, I ain't touching that. Hell no. There has to be destruction to bring new creation. There has to, Crystal, but people don't want to destroy it. People, they are thinking more about themselves than they're thinking about other people, right? And America is sustained on this unsustainable monster of an empire with Britain and Canada and Germany and Italy. And that was a good question somebody asked. And so the whole third world is paying for our apathy. Someone asked about, was it just the NATO nations? Is that what someone said earlier? Is it just the NATO nations that are affected? That's a good question. That's a good question. I have no idea. You're calling hippies stupid? No, Hillary, I'm saying that they're extremities, right? There are good doctors, there are good hippies, they're good dentists, they're great epidemiologists, but then you have the extreme people, right? You have the extremes who go too far. There are some hippies that go too far. Right? There's some, and that's not hippie, that's stippy. You know, where you're like, oh, we're gonna put aloe in a smoothie. Everybody drink aloe smoothies. We've never done this before, but it's a super cure and it's gonna heal everybody. Everybody make aloe smoothies. And then people die. Because that lady died. When she did a video and she died drinking an aloe smoothie. Like, there's common sense. And a doctor will tell you this. And this is what I'm saying, how all of this should work together. These are all tools in your toolkit. A doctor will tell you, no, if you change your body too quickly, you're gonna die. You change your body and your body, it doesn't know how to adjust that quickly. Your body likes to do things slow and it likes to learn. If you put some foreign body in you too quickly because you read a book and it said, oh, in ancient India, they drink aloe smoothies. Oh, everybody do this. This is a super cure. You might end up killing. Your body hadn't had that in who knows how many generations. You know, you look at it and say, oh, wow, okay, this worked good in our body. Okay, well, how do we do this? Well, first of all, what variety of aloe did they use, right? And is that the variety that's being sold in the store or that I'm going to? And going slow with it as opposed to like extremities. You see what I'm saying? Like, if we go in too many extremities, we like to always think we're right. Unfortunately, we live in this weird society that rewards people who think they're right. And that's highly dangerous. It's highly dangerous. We live in a chaotic ecosystem of a universe where there's so many different variables to so many different things. You can't have anything as ignorant as a pharmaceutical industry that works on percentages, right? You know, you have to realize that everything is very dynamic. Is water with one less hydrogen molecule. Okay. Common networks here in San Francisco and the Bay Area is a new hip Wi-Fi provider. It's 5G. And that's a scary thing, Jeannie, because I saw what you posted a little earlier about all the old folks you got in California, San Francisco area. Yep, that's an issue. But that would be a great way to get rid of a lot of the old people, wouldn't it? Roll out 5G, debilitate their immune systems even further, going beyond the poison in the water and ignoring the population, ignoring the homeless, creating and cultivating medieval diseases through poverty, spending, what was it, 6 billion or 60 billion on that new railroad that goes from San Francisco to LA. That's how you know that these people aren't here for you. These officials are not here for you at all. Aloe plus isopropyl alcohol sanitizer. Yeah, aloe is good for that, Conan. Aloe is good for that. Another thing is essential oils. When you leave the house, this is why I always make my lotion with essential oils and shea butter. You leave the house, oil up. Oil up. Once again, your skin is, once it's dry and cracked, it's open. And you got cuckoo virus just waiting to get in. You have cuckoo virus, like somebody coughs and lands on you. You know, you want to have an oil barrier between you and even people live in your house. You should be oiling everything up. Like the epidemiologist said that, you know, most right now it's in the air, right? You're breathing in the cuckoo virus. Well, you know, so if it's mostly going in your nose, it's open and exposed that you need to be worried about. You got eyes, you got ears, you got a mouth, you got a nose. Everything else, you should have nice and moisturized and oil up. And besides, when you use essential oils, their body derives nutrients from them, as well as it doesn't have to manufacture oils to moisturize your skin because you're taking a shower a day in chlorinated water. So that's more energy that can be utilized for your natural biological processes, which is what I believe in. I don't believe in synthetic processes. I believe in biological. I think biological knows what it's doing. It's been doing it for Mother Nature's resume is billions of years old. It knows what it's doing. The doctors are trying to figure it out. You know, so I lend credence to them, but I always fall back on Mother Nature. The more time and the more energy you give it to do what it needs to do, the less dis-ease you're gonna have. High-speed rail, all right, I can come back to that. I'm actually way up in the comments over here. Yeah. Also, I got attacked concerning the cuckoo virus and started yellowing. What happened? Oh, I got so attacked concerning the cuckoo virus and started yellowing. What happened, Christine? Oh, meaning yelling. Oh yeah, don't yell. I know, don't get too upset. A lot of people are scared. You know what? I gauge people, Christine, before I mention the cuckoo virus, because a lot of the news is a scary thing. The news, we are in scary times. I mean, I laugh a lot, but these people are serious. This news knows what it's doing. They're not faking with this news. I mean, remember the whole stage alien invasion. These people believe this, right? They're giving the public their opinion. I'm always usually against public opinion if it's given to them because it means it's not their opinion. But these people are very scared. They're very scared. And they'll go along with you being locked in your house. They'll go along with you being forced vaccinated with them. They'll go along with all of it because they watch the news and the news drums that up. That's why they call it a pandemonium. A lot of this was planned, whether intentfully or not, whether you believe the whole currency collapse in banking or not, or just from a indirect method of not deploying resources for people, not utilizing tools to help the human race, not manufacturing suits to protect your people during a bio attack or a pandemic, but investing everything in war. But these people are taking it serious. They are taking it very serious. People don't walk around here and use plastic gloves and masks on the ATM. I mean, these people are scared to death. You know, don't go out there coughing like I told somebody the other day. Oh, did y'all see the George, what's that comedian's name? I posted it yesterday. If you get sick, oh boy, you need to think about what you need to do. You need to consider telling people that you're sick, you got a itchy throat, or if you got watery eyes, a fever. People are taking this serious and they're gonna act a fool. George, what was his name? He's one of the funniest comedians going for a long time. He did a comedy bit. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. Going down, going down, going down. It's just basically like, if you get it, you may not want to tell people. If you think you got it, you may not want to tell people. These people are taking it serious. They will call someone and have a truck come pick you up. You want to think about that. You want to think about calling in sick. I mean, you know, I want to think about it. I'm gonna see if I can find. I forgot his name, George something. I'll keep in mind, cocoa oil is antiviral. CBD is a daily for me. Yes, Hillary. CBD, cannabinoids, oil. Get anything you can. All of these things help. All of these things help. You know, that's why I'm once again. If it works and helps someone, if they utilize it for 5,000 years, do not shy away from it. These things are important to do. Lots of people can't work, no source of income. And Lori, that's why we know that this is a paradigm shifting event, right? The only question here is whether or not we shift the paradigm or it gets shifted to what they want to shift it to. The people who poison our food, air, water, they take our rights. The people who always said they were for us, they were with us. But anytime any one of us gets in with those people, they become a politician, they got a spreadsheet, and they are told what to do. We got to figure out whether or not we want to go with their paradigm or we're going to go with a whole new one. Organic cold pressed coconut oil and a decent source of CBD. Hillary can help you with the CBD, and that sounds good. The real epidemic is the lack of clean water. Lots of laughter. I looked at the list of plague, pandemics, and epidemics, and chosen is constantly on the list. Oh no, it's cholera is constantly on the list and is one of the factors of folks now at risk. Whew. There's a lot there, Gene. That's the video that got me kicked off of Facebook. I was talking about cholera. The handle, right? Because that's the whole history of cholera, where there was one doctor who stood out, or scientist, I forgot what he was, and he was like, we did the research, and everybody that's sick with cholera use that water well. That water well is the problem. And they didn't believe him. And they tried to humor him. They tried to find, because they knew at the time cholera came from something that was a popular narrative. And they humored him and they took the handle off that water well, and come to find out everyone stopped getting cholera. You know, so I don't know. New World Order or freedom. Christine's our only choices. New World Order or freedom. We don't have any other choices. No in the middle. We're either going to continue on the same, consolidating, because we've consolidated local power, tribal power. We consolidated state and regional powers into nations. Then we took nations and consolidated them for our elites into like global trading blocks. North America Trade Union and European Trade Union, East India, they got theirs over there. And so now this is the next progression. And that's why I appreciate history too, once again, is that when you look at the process of the world and how it's going, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's just literally where we've been going. We're on a train, we're heading in this direction, and the next stop is a new world order. That's not conspiracy, it's just money and power. And that type of power is highly dangerous for any group to have. You don't ever want to give any group a control over your entire damn planet. Look at what happens when they own nations. I'm wondering about water supply in area with a lot of folks infected now. Yeah, Jeannie. I don't know how to get around that. Well, you can boil your water. I think that's probably a smart thing, because eventually people are going to run out of the water. I don't know if Jeff Bezos will get his army of 100,000 delivery people delivering water quick enough. Boil your water. If you can still get out and get a filter, like a water filter. One of the things I noticed while I was out, I was kind of taking a notice of the empty shelves. The water filter shelf was empty, which is a great stop if you're going out. Don't hoard it. Don't get 8 of them. You don't need 8. Just get enough to go 6 months, which is like 1. They got the pitchers. So when you run out of spring water, which they can poison that too, and you run out of distilled water, they can poison that too. And it's already poisoned because it comes with the microplastics. Get yourself a pitcher, and if you got to use your tap water or rainwater, and you can filter your water through those Brita pitcher filters. And so that way, at least you're doing some level of filtration. You can also make a water filter. I wouldn't recommend it at this point, but if things like really get locked down, like I think the National Guard's already out in parts of New Jersey, and I think they said New York, is that starting today or something like that? Different places. When you get on lockdown, you got nothing else to do. Yes, you can make a water filter. Now might be a great time to not catch up on Netflix specials, but to go ahead and look online and see how to do things like dig a water well, how to make a water filter. You can actually do them very easily with PVC and water. If you got water pressure, you can actually use PVC pipe to actually dig a well. That's very important to do. Well, it's important to know how to do. It's better to have the information and not need it than need it and not have it. You never know what's going to happen in the future. Look up online how to make a water filtration. You can make water filtration with things you find in your house. You can use coffee filters, you can use carbon, you can use hay, you can use a lot of things to filter water, but also boil it. I'm worried about even showering in the water here. And Crystal, and you've been worried about that for a few decades now. That water been jacked up a long time. Well, who knows what's going in it now? But you know, and this is why I got Jack Bauer here. Because if we are facing some sort of a threat that they can't tell us because they just need to keep people off the streets for whatever, and they plan some sort of attack, that terrorist thing where they got terrorist chatter they hear, if that's what it was about globally, and so no one can get together in a group any more than 15 or 20 or 25, it kind of makes some sense that if they couldn't get people in mass because we're not in mass anymore, that they put something in the water supply. That's a thought. That's a thought. What somebody should do is go drive past your water facility and see if it's got a tank out front. If it has a tank out front, you see a couple Humvees at the National Guard, the first place they go isn't to protect the banks, but they go there to protect the public water supply, then you know that we're under a terrorist attack. But I get it too that they don't want to say it if we are. I understand that. Once again, I'm not as extreme as people think I am. I believe in common sense. I believe there should be no secrets. But there are times when the government got to keep something secret. You can't tell. You know what would happen if they told everybody we got Jack Bauer running around the country who got a bunch of tools and foot phones and equipment and CTUs that they've never used to catch a terrorist because they were using it to watch us, and these people running around the country bumbling, trying to figure out how to find a terrorist that's well funded by central banks, that's deceptive, can hide, they don't have a social security number, and go to work and sit at home so they're easy to watch, spy on. You know what happened if they told the public, you got terrorist cells running around this country and we got a CTU, an FBI, a CIA, a Homeland Security, but we ain't never used them to protect y'all? They're not trained how to catch a real terrorist. They're trained to watch you at Walmart, not a terrorist living in the woods, swimming through swamps with an invisible suit like the one the guy in China had. These people go crazy. These people, something you can't tell people. I agree with that. There's some level of secrecy that I believe that we have to get to a place in society where we have no secrets. We got no secrets in government. But if it's like a terrorist thing, I understand that, keeping that secret. I do understand that. These people will act a fool. Everybody would think they're Jack Bauer. We're America. Come on, stop playing. These people got guns, knives, survival gear, and kits. Oh, they be out there shooting everybody. They shoot anybody. Oh, he look like a terrorist, You have all kind of people, and then the black people yelling and screaming, oh, the terrorists are white males. And then the other side, oh, terrorists are Arabs. And the Christians, oh, terrorists are Muslims. The Muslims, we got to protect ourselves from the Christians. This whole society would collapse. We'd have no chance to make a peaceful paradigm if they told people that what was going on. So, I'd rather be wrong than be surprised and shocked. Right, Jeannie, because when you're surprised and shocked, you die. Good thing to be prepared, not ever surprised and shocked. All right, let me see. This police lady looks like the round bossy lady on Superstore. Uh-oh. If you ever watched the show, Lori, do I watch this? That's one of the best shows on TV right now. That's one of the shows that's keeping my calm. It's keeping my calm. If y'all don't watch Superstore, you should watch the Superstore. And hey, what is her name? I forgot her name, Lori. Oh, she rough. She rough. Oh, when the black dude released her birds and she found out that he released, I thought she was gonna kill him. I had to get caught up on that. But you do have to have shows that you watch that kind of take you out of the nonsense. Why not just run steam and put a towel over your head and inhale? Wouldn't that help? Megs, it would help. That's the problem. Would it help everybody? Don't know. Would it help you in that particular situation? Based on what I know, without having to go back in that conversation, because apparently it's touchy, it works for some people, right? Doesn't work for everybody. There's so many factors, probably has to do with what your white blood cell count is, what they're doing, how many are being produced, what did you eat for breakfast, if it can fight back, if the bacteria you breathe in is still in your nasal column, if it's early on. Like that was one of the things that the PhD guy from yesterday talked about, but most people didn't watch the full documentary. The full presentation. The full presentation was like 20 minutes, I think, but everything online was like a 5-minute chunk, so it made it sound like, oh, this is the cure. That's why Lori was upset. She had a right to be. This is the cure. And no, this is something you can do to prevent. If you watch the full 20 minutes, he basically said this is something you can do early on as a preventative measure to keep it from getting in and spreading all throughout. And he went through the steps of it. And I thought about it. I was like, yeah, we've been doing this for a while. I kind of put the pieces together. I found another doctor saying, it's like, oh, okay, I get it now. He's saying that this is something we should be doing to help prevent the spread. And a lot of what he talked about was for the healthcare workers, right? So, if you are a nurse, if you are a doctor, if you are somebody working with the CDC and people like that every day after work or throughout work that you should be doing their treatments. Everyone's got their own little treatment. The PhD guy had his, and he called it something about the heat treatment something. And then the doctor I just showed, he had like that 5-step treatment or whatever. So the point was preventative. So my 2 cents on that, Mags, is if I got sick, I'd do what everybody said. That's what I would do. I really wouldn't care about who thought they were right. I would do anything I could. Prevent the spread, the zombie apocalypse. I don't like being sick, Mags. That's why I drink smoothies all the damn time. I don't want to be sick. Let me see. Oh no, I'm gonna go down because that's gonna start that conversation. I'm gonna go down. I said what I had. I spoke my piece. I ain't going back down that road. So I have to go down past the comments where we had that discussion. Let me see. There's one coming March 22nd. That's larger and closer. What's coming March 22nd, Kimberly? The big one is coming up after the end. What's the big one? I missed this. The big one. What's the big one? Last night at 2 a.m. an asteroid flew by and it was possible it would blow in the atmosphere. Now, Kimberly, ooh. Ooh. This is why I always say we never know what's going on. Like we think it's about banks and currency collapses and Jack Bauer and CTU and COVID-19s and everything. It might be an asteroid. The government wouldn't tell us if an asteroid was coming because that once again, that would be the apocalypse. Like everything would shut down if it was actually an asteroid. It could even be about that. I don't know. What I do know is they shouldn't have no secrets. I know that. I know people, when we have a society full of secrets, people die. And it's a stupid society to have to begin with. All right. I think 30% will be safe. 30% of what's going to be saved. I think 30% will be saved. What is that, Christine? Oh, another piece of fake news, as Christine reminds me what we're talking about there, is they said in China, this doctor said it was only 2.1% affected of children or people under the age of 19. It was a great Joe Rogan podcast. It was a great one. The first 20 minutes of it, he said it was less than 2.1%, which is weird, which is why I said we never really know what's going on because that information is probably updated all the time. But they say, well, kids are most affected and old people. It sounds like it's mostly older folks. And that was his other point he was making about shutting down the schools is that the kids are getting it. Like it's a double-edged sword. There's a sick thing about our little unsustainable society. So you send your kids to school, they're getting it, but they're not having any side effects. And they're coming home and they're giving it to the nurses and the doctors and the family, and it's spreading in older people. And you didn't know that the kid had it. So shutting down schools actually was a good idea. I don't believe in indoctrination schools anyway. I'm fine with that, but it's a double-edged sword. Because now the medical professionals, we don't have as many that are working because we shouldn't be paying them anyway to work. They should be having lifestyles because they're doing a wonderful thing, period. All their food, their water, their house, all those things. If you're caring for people, the idea that you actually have to earn a salary to help a human being is one of the dumbest things I have ever heard in my entire life. So that was the other thing with that. But yeah, that's all we don't really know is true. But it doesn't change what we got to do. It doesn't change what we know. We know how to fight the flu. We know what to do if we never get sick. We know that we shouldn't be around those other people who do. We know that we really should be the ones washing our hands. Maybe we should be wearing masks. If we know we don't get sick, like the kids don't show the symptoms, then we're mostly the carriers of things that they give to other people and hurt people that we're closest to. Isn't it weird how that works? That's why, I mean, you don't need a government quarantine when you have sentient people, when you have conscious people, because they understand that, wow, yeah, I don't get sick, but I'm going to get sick the people I'm closest to. I don't wash my hands, right? I don't stop drinking out the orange juice bottle. If I don't use the essential oils to kind of keep things contained within me, if I don't spit when I speak, if I'm not out there kissing on the people I love, self-regulation. Like, you don't have to send a truck to a sentient person's house to put them in quarantine. A sentient person, a conscious person will know that I'm probably going to be a carrier for this nonsense, and so I'm gonna regulate myself. I'm not going to leave my house. The fact that you have so many people who are healthy nowadays because of probably organic industry, and people are rediscovering Ayurvedic treatments, ways of naturally healing without the synthetic drugs that create synthetic human beings that get synthetic problematic diseases that never existed. Well, not to the scale they do today, is you have a lot of people going around now who are very healthy, and you got a lot of people who are very sick, or a lot of people who have almost no immune system. To put it the way the doctor put it that I listen to, he said most Americans walk around with a partially functioning immune system because of the food they eat, the poisons in the environment. And so you have these two stark extremes. People are healthy and their immune systems are working, and people who have real bad problems because they watch television commercials and they do what they say. Now's a great time to evolve. Now's a great time to move forward. But yeah, you don't have to send a truck out if you've got conscious people. If the point of the government is the people, the point of the government is to govern and create more pleasant people, more conscious people over time, you don't get these problems. That's why I say we deserve everything that we get. We deserve everything that we get. We've designed a society, we are a collapsed society. We are a society that's designed to collapse and extinct our human race. I'm back, we're talking about TSA. Let me see. 1 in 3 days, if it hits, lands, and will have almost 3,000 mile wide, over 500 mile deep impact crater. Do you think that's happening to Kimberly Jackson? Do you think that it's an asteroid while they have us on lockdown? I have to think through that. I mean, I know they wouldn't tell us if it were coming, but if an asteroid were gonna hit, I don't think that they'd have us on lockdown. I don't see the reason. I don't see the reason. There wouldn't be, in fact, if anything, if an asteroid was gonna hit us, I mean, the way my brain works, I would say that they would say nothing and they'd want us at work. They'd want everything to keep going the way it is because we wouldn't notice anything, right? If everybody's in their house and they're like watching the rich people, trying to see if they're getting on buses, and the politicians that go to bunkers, and that's what most people are. People are sitting inside. Everybody's a grandmama right now. Like, I got my windows right here and all I'm doing is watching outside. What's going on? What are they doing? Where they going? They wouldn't want people watching. If some worldwide calamity was about to happen, I think that they would want everyone, they would play like everything is normal, and they go for under their bunkers. Agent 99, the smart one. Yes, Lori. Agent 99 was the smart one. If I'm not mistaken, that was the woman. Oh, wasn't that the woman? This show was ahead of our time. It was ahead of our time, wasn't it? Because you had, what is his name? I forgot his name in Get Smart. You know, he was not smart. He was not smart at all. He was a fool, but he had lots of new toys and gadgets. He was like America. He had a lot of great resources, a lot of great tools, never used them for anything great. Random observance. I've noticed more roadkill lately in the past 2 weeks. In the past 2 weeks, Jeannie, why would that be? I live in San Leandro, Oakland area, and the East Bay is totally urban. Lots of roadkill on the street. I don't know. Animals running for the hills? There are animals knowing the tsunami is coming? I don't know. Random observations are good. I have no idea what that could relate to. In Florida and Ohio, not enough guards. Nascamacide County are at high risk, etc. So Rebecca Costello, what bothers me about the National Guard being deployed is it means that whatever they're scared of is going to get worse. Like, they wouldn't be talking about National Guard deployment if this was a happy thing, if this was a 2-week lockdown. If they're talking about putting the National Guard out there, it means that violence either already broke out, looting is already happening, or they expect it to happen. So if we're going to be on lockdown for 2 weeks, they wouldn't be talking National Guard. If they're putting National Guard out there, it means that they're expecting people who don't have supplies to go get supplies, however, by any means necessary. They're not making income, they don't have any money, and if they expect us to be on lockdown for 6 months like this epidemiologist thought, then that would mean they need people to stay in their homes and die peacefully. Or get Amazon trucks and hurry up and start to get food and water out to them. The government would have to give Amazon billions of dollars to hire 100,000 new drivers to get food out to people and water. But the National Guard thing is an issue. But to me, that means still that we don't have a government that has a clue how things work, right? Violence is always their solution for everything. If we are in a pandemic situation and people have needs, then we need to take care of the people's needs, not scare people, right? You start putting the National Guard out there, then you're pissing off and scaring the militia. You're pissing off and scaring them, then they're getting ready. The doomsday preppers are seeing that, they're locking and loading. You know, you don't want to keep adding destabilizing components to a destabilizing system. If you see a system's destabilizing, and I'm trying to use my system analysis that I've done for 20 years. When you start to see that things are crumbling, corruption everywhere, you just want to stop and pause everything and fix it. And they're not fixing things. You know, bullets not a solution for everything. We are at high risk for stupidity. Yeah, we are. But we've always been there. That's not new. Exactly. They're afraid of looting. They are, Teresa. And that's a good thing we could have avoided. Right? Why are people looting? Well, we've been keeping this crony economic fiat currency system going. We've been treating human beings like they're labor. We've been making them go out and earn things that we know that robots and automation can produce for almost free. So we've been using the robots and automation for billionaires and massive corporations. So you got a lot of people out there that don't have. And that's the crazy area that we're in, because the people who say they need to be out there arresting the gangs, I mean, they're not wrong, but they're not right either. And they are right in that weird way. We didn't take care of people. And people have needs. And push come to shove, the nicest, most peaceful, loving pastor, politician, a police officer, podiatrist, all the P's, not just the P's, all of them, will do the most horrendous things to feed their family. And they're causing the looting, right? And that's the issue that we have. We have to actually think about people who will be looting. And that's why I was saying the other day, we got to take care of our neighbors. And I'm not saying that. Our parents said that. Our grandparents said that. When you take care of the people around you and they don't have a need to loot, then we don't have to really worry about being looting. But we live in a society, where I live anyway, my state, and I say my direct area, where people kind of look out for themselves. And they don't understand that's not how the world works. When you look out for yourself, that destabilizing effect, it avalanches. And then, yeah, you will get conditions where people are robbing stores and robbing people, and the people get scared because they're robbing people. They pull out a gun, this person pulls out this, whatever. And the Boondocks called that an end moment. You get an end moment, but you got things that escalate to a point where we're not building a beautiful paradigm and saying, wow, we build a completely unsustainable society. We're not going to go that direction. We're going to make a paradigm shift. You're just basically causing a collapse situation. But that might just be the desperation of government. They're going to do anything they can to try to keep this crony system going that's unsustainable, and it needs to die. You know, when I say government, I'm not talking Trump, and I'm not talking, you know, any individual people. It's a system. Systems have a need to survive. And at the end of the day, they'll do anything they need to survive. Like I watched a brother on 10th Amendment Center a lot, right? We're talking about the whole constitutional aspects of what they're doing and how a lot of it violates the Constitution. They don't care. They're a system. They don't care. Like, their system is not encoded to follow the Constitution. Their system is not encoded to follow a Bill of Rights. Those are things we want them to do. They are a for-profit corporation. They are a system, and their bottom line is profit. The core of every system is survival. Just like the pastor and the preacher and the politician who need to go loot to feed their families. Survival is the key, and the system will do anything it can to survive. We're under martial law, and people accept it like it's normal. Well, because it's a soft martial law, right, Lori? It's soft. It's like this. It's like the boiling frog thing. They're slowly heating things up, and people are like, okay, what do we do next? Tuning in. What is the official statement? What do we do next? Okay, what do we do next? Instead of saying, well, maybe we need to ignore what the officials say and think about common sense, right? When you take care of people, good things happen. When you don't take care of people and you wait on the government, they need to put people on the street with high-powered assault rifles and National Guard, right? They largely respond to us, which is why I don't blame the government for everything. Right? We mostly consent to all of this, and we help create it, and we all can locally reduce the damage that's done, right? Without pushing government into doing what we know it's going to do if we allow that to happen. Oh wow, Teresa, no escaping possible. Keep your guns now. It's a time you might need them. Yeah, this is true. This is true, Christine. People have to defend themselves because people are getting desperate. And the government seems to know it. We don't have guns in Ireland. Oh, that's right. That's Teresa in Ireland. Okay, that's Ireland, Teresa. I didn't know which Teresa that was. Even the police only special forces. Gosh, I don't want to say anything about Ireland, Teresa, because it's going to sound just prejudice as hell. It's going to sound crazy. I've never been to Ireland. My people from Ireland, I got people in my family from Ireland, you know, but I've never been there. Hopefully Ireland's not a police state, but I think people in Ireland are still a little closer to like taking care of themselves more than what the more modern nations are, like America, that got cities every freaking where that are high tech. There's a direct correlation between the amount of technology you have and your unsustainability, your inability for the population to protect themselves and take care of themselves. We are highly dependent on technology, and most people don't get up in the morning until they check their cell phones. Most people don't. They got the self-parking cars now. They're doing all of that. They don't even know how to park their cars. They don't even know how to back in anymore. You know, so I think Ireland might still be a little more sustainable than what we are. And I think there's a direct correlation between how much military gets rolled out and the sustainability and the collapse type situations that people create. Don't be afraid of a cold, be afraid of the power wielding government controlling our lives. That's all you gotta be. That's all you gotta be. You know, we've been dealing with colds a long time, but we never had a worldwide government that's all powerful, that works with Koch brothers and Jeff Bezos and some of the billionaires and trillionaires around the world. We've never seen that. That's a little scarier to me. All right. Just being taken is not soft to me. Parks being closed, etc. And I'm a conspiracy theorist when it comes to closing parks, Lord, because I don't know why they would do that. It makes no sense. You want people to get out. Gut knows the truth is 5G. Well, that's your gut, Jennifer. Stick to it, and don't stop saying it. Don't stop saying it. I think it's related. I think it's definitely related. All right. strange how they still have postal workers deliver mail, even junk to our homes with little or no hand sanitizer. Send it into our home daily. It is strange, hey, hon. I'm a little worried about old folks when it comes to that, because now you got young people delivering packages, right? They're touching the packages. Hopefully there's some training for hand sanitizer or whatever, but you know, I don't know how that'll go. So it was weird, like you'll get all your groceries, your food, your water, whatever they're bringing in on these delivery companies, having no idea who touched it. We're not set up for sustainability. I'm getting patted down, even still being allowed. How does that work? Is everyone being dressed up in biohazard suits for their pat down now? Where are you being pat down, Citizen Dev? You mean going in the airport? Well, more blow dryer stuff. Moving down. I don't want to see that. Would rather neutralize silver. Nebulized silver. Oh, are you talking about what is that called? Colloidal silver? Is that what you're talking about? Who's that? Hillary? Thousands of years ago, you went into the shaman's hut and sweated out disease. And okay, heat the herbs. Well, Susan, I'm not touching it. I'm getting in trouble. I said what I have to say. I'm not gonna say nothing more on it. The heat needed to kill a virus would explode your lungs. Well, right, she was in Seattle. Oh Lord, how'd y'all get me back into this? Is true. This is real talk. Real talk. But if people watch the whole presentation, he said that to a degree. He said it's only in the early stages. After it gets to your lungs, you're in big trouble. I think everybody's still kind of saying the same thing. India has the oldest wisdom one should listen to indeed. Yes, Christine, I agree. And except that it won't work for everybody. I haven't watched in months. Yep, sheepless, you want to stay away from the news. That's why I like that guy, the epidemiologist on Joe Rogan, but I'm not interested in the official statements. I think he'll say more than what a politician will say. Besides the fact, why do I care what a politician has to say anyway? Why do I care what a news pundit has to say? Actually, I care what these people right here have to say, because for the most part, none of these people are being paid. They have no profit in line to me. Most of these people are giving you their very real perspectives. So I'll listen to somebody churning up the information and regurgitating it, but I don't have any interest in the official statement. I don't believe in officials. I don't believe in authority. I don't believe in laws. I don't believe in any of that nonsense. I believe in the human race, so I don't listen to the officials. I'm not going to go to the people who caused the problem to solve any problem, like with the whole CTU thing. Right? If I found out they were protecting us all along, okay, I'm good to go. Let's protect me. But you haven't been protecting me. You've just been censoring me. Like a good thing, I wanted to mention Ty and Tony the other day. I don't even know what I can really say, and that's why I'm hesitant to even mention why it seems that the shadow banning is being removed. I do think it's because corporations are trying to act like they've been on our side the whole time. I think global powers are shifting. I think that we know that a lot of the censoring online is being done by NATO, right? And so if that power is shifting, then it would make sense that the corporations that were working with the old powers that be probably start ripping apart some of that shadow banning, right? Acting like they were always with us. So that could make some sense. I don't know. The only thing I would say to people is, and why I'm trying to be cautious of what I say is because there are things that happen behind the scenes when this happened before, and a friend of ours blew up and then she disappeared. She didn't disappear. She did what she was supposed to do. She did what she had to do. If you are gonna live stream, in which I think everybody should be giving us their perspectives, and I appreciate seeing some new people step up. You're gonna want to be very weary of getting big. Be very weary. These systems are very methodical in how they control us. Have you ever heard the saying, I'm trying to choose my words so carefully. Have you ever heard the saying, we're victims of our own success? Okay. Process that. Whatever all of this is, I have no idea, but I do know that when you get popular, that's when you have a problem. Y'all remember Paul Stamens? Remember we were talking about Paul Stamens, and he's the mushroom guy? And even Paul Stamens, as much as he loves mushrooms, and Susan's our mushroom girl, he said he won't talk about portobello mushrooms. It's like, that's weird. Like, where the hell did that come from? Like, why won't you talk about portobello mushrooms? Like, that's weird. He said, well, I did threats on my life. I won't talk about portobello mushrooms. And he moved on. So I don't even talk about even not talking about it. And he moved Joe Rogan off. They get us to trip ourselves up. Right? They know that we're divided. They know that we all got to make money. They know that we all have capital, we have businesses. And when anybody is truthful on everything at all times, they make a whole lot of enemies. When you get big, if you are truthful about everything all the time, you don't make it. Nobody does. Everybody big has got a complaint somewhere, whether it's Julian Assange or Noam Chomsky or, I mean, you can name any of them, your Donald Trumps, your Barack Obamas, or any of your truth people, you know, John Perkins, wherever you want to go through, there's always an issue where it doesn't seem exactly right. When you get big, we eat each other. When you get big, you eat ourselves. So anybody who's live streaming or whatever, and you see an explosion in activity, be weary. And I'm a little hesitant when I'm seeing what I'm seeing, because it's reminding me of what we saw a year ago. And when you start to see a large room of people, but not really many people comment, right? The comments increased, but not by a lot, not by enough, right? So if we do the numbers, and y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm trying not to really, I probably shouldn't even say names. When you get 250 people and you're usually having 40 to 50 people, you should expect to see that much increase in percentage in commenting. I want to see 500% more comments. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people who are watching and not commenting, and we have no idea who they are. At that point, you have to think about who and what that is that's so quiet. And that's what we saw just prior to the conversations I had with our other friend and her husband before she just said, that's it, I gotta get out. So just be careful, be leery, right? Be leery legally. Be weary of what you say. When you start to influence people like ABC, CBS, Fox, and the rest of these stations, there's a certain narrative you have to follow. If you make enemies of everybody, you disappear. Not nothing JFK style, just very simply. Be very weary. There's a reason why everybody who's big and popular always seems to not make an enemy out of everybody. All right, that's all I was gonna say on that. And that was the two people. Let's hope that they're taking down the shadow ban. But also remember that people can sue you for anything. They can sue you for anything. And you saw that with your Alex Jones as well. Be leery of getting big. Watch what you say. Be very careful. Most weeds are edibles. All grasses in North America are edible. If people starve, it's their own ignorance. And this is true, Crystal. People don't like it. That's a very truthful statement, right? You know, we evolved eating the weeds, and as much glyphosate they sprayed all over this country trying to kill and murder all the weeds, and the people going to Home Depot doing the best they can do. Your food is the weeds, and that's why it's food, because it's prolific. It grows everywhere. You probably, if you have an acre of land, you have a lot of food growing on your land. You just may not recognize it as food. And so what Crystal was saying is now you want to spend some time, you want to go online and start looking at what are the leafy greens in your area that you can eat. Look how to prepare them. Look at how to cultivate them. But that's the great thing about weeds, Crystal, isn't it? Is that they literally grow themselves. They propagate themselves in mass. I won't post on my page, but we'll send in message. Yeah, and Lori is very smart with that. Lori knows what she's doing when it comes to that, right? Like everybody's got their place in all of this, and you figure out where you fit in the best. But if you want to stand out public, you just better just be very careful from a legal aspect. You can share in Messenger all you want, and nobody seems to care. I don't think anybody got in any big trouble that I've seen with any kind of lawsuits or anything, sharing things in Messenger. But when you post things on your page, you do live streams, the things you say, people are looking for reason to get you, and people are hungry. Everybody needs capital, and there's some people that got a whole lot of capital. You step on the wrong toes. All right. Don't use acronyms. Spell it out. What are we spelling out? What acronyms? What are we talking about? Anyone can message me about it. It's easy to delete the fact checking. I work in a print shop. So on live streams more. I'm not sure what y'all are talking about right there, but in terms about live stream, yeah, more people need to do it. You can't have anybody at the top. You have to have lots of people. There can't be any leaders. We always fail as a group because we have single points in failure, right? If you allow whatever that comes against truth, whatever you feel that is to be, you don't want to give it an easy target. You don't want to give it any one area to hit. You don't want to give it a Martin Luther King. You don't want to give it a JFK. You don't want to give it an America. You don't want to give it a Congress. You don't want to give it one president. You don't want to focus, you want to have systems that are made up of republic, like a republic setup, like a hive. So one of the things we had talked about a year ago when all that went down was the fact that it's lonely at the top. And when you get to the top, really bad things start to happen. And if you're by yourself, then all the things, they're not going for 20 people doing live streams. They're not going for 200 people doing live streams. They're just going for one person. It's easy to take out one person. Everybody's take out every single person. And gosh, I feel like I'm messing it up by even just going through this, but more and more you want to get involved. I think that's the most I can say on that. More and more you want to get involved. You don't want to have a captain that's easy to take out. I won't be a captain. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. I'm not, this is too tricky. There's too much about this I don't understand. And a lot of it's legal. So you just got to be very careful. Yes, Christina, work as a team. It's about teamwork instead of leaders. You don't ever want to lead anybody. Not when corruption runs the world and we don't even know who the corrupt people are. Everybody thinks they know who they are. None of us actually know. Boosting one another, yes, Christine, but also looking out for one another. Especially if you have anybody that's getting big. You want to look out for them. Best that you can. You want to, in every way, shape, and form, look out for them. I have no idea. I had 50 fact checkers following my page. I guarantee you, Lori, you probably have more than that. You probably have software. Probably not 50 fact checking people, just software. And it's weird how it works, Lori. I can't understand it. They'll block it from some pages, not from others. They'll block some people some of the time, not all the time. It's either working random or it's very highly methodical. And I'm leaning towards methodical. Like, I lean towards methodical, Lori, because I met, well, actually I worked with him. He's one of my friends a long time ago. He used to program the AS400s at the Atlantic City gambling setup. It's very methodical, like there's no randomness to any of those slot machines. And I think this is not, I think it's methodical. There's no randomness. They can pick and choose who wins. They made sure the casino always wins. I think that type of software is utilized here. So they're making sure they take down the right posts at the right time in the right places methodically, and then they set other people up for failure. And that's what I kind of alluded to, which I can't seem to get away from. I can't seem to get away from it. Have you had friends who said things to you that they've got 1,000 friend invites in one day? And ask yourself if you think that that's random. They can send a lot of people to you who are already known to have the passion, perhaps the resources and the power, perhaps a position, even in your life or in your community, in your township, in your state, to ruin you. And I suspect that when you get on the right radar, they'll send people to you they know that will already collapse you. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. I think it's methodical. I think when you get a lot of friend invites, it's like when I get the friend invite. I've never had a storm, but they kind of come and go in waves. And sometimes it's like normal people, but other times it's the booby ladies, right? It's the ones with the bazoom, ba-boom, you know, and obviously it's a fake profile. Be very leery of that. Hey, all right, I'm gonna start to wrap this up because I gotta pee and I gotta get out of here. Howdy from Canada. Hey, what's going on, Lolamar? All right, did I miss any good comments down here? I'm sure I missed a bunch of them. I try to read comments by everybody and then get out of here. The whole point of this one is, you know, we had a CTU and we didn't use it right. We had a deep state, we had all of that. We could have forced that. We used it for the people, we didn't. And so we don't have anybody looking out for us. We got to look out for each other. There is no FBI that's got your back. There's no Homeland Security. There's no police departments. Now there are police officers that have your back. There are agents in the FBI and probably CTUs and the other 12 acronym agencies that we don't know. The people got your back. But once you get to that supervisor and level above as a system, they're there to control you. They're COs in model, right? They're controlling you. And so the point is we need you can't see the whole thing. We need a PTU. That's what the title's supposed to say. Preventative terrorist unit. Work on preventative. So whatever we build on the other side, it's got to be preventative. Seriously, what better way to see just how much they don't really need us? Well, they don't need us. Hey, hon, that's what I love about right now. I do love it, is that people are really starting to realize I didn't really have to go to work. They could have printed the money. I didn't really have to go to work. You know, my kids didn't really have to go to school. They could have took online classes. Wow. And the world's still going. Wow. They're just printing the money and sending checks. Because that's what they're talking about. I saw an accident, printing money and sending the checks. Wow. I feel like I'm Israel. I feel like I'm Israel. They're just going to print the money and send it to me. You know, I feel like I'm an ally, a warlord in Africa. They're just going to print the money and send it to me. You know, citizens just got a little whiff of what it's like to be a crony in their wars, to be a crony in their corruption. Why work on a vaccine instead of a cure? Well, right, because as you know, Susan, there's no money in cures. The money is all in vaccines. There's no money in Ayurvedic medicine. There's no money in people growing their own food. There's no money in that. The money is all in just keeping them sick. You know that, I know that, and most of the people here know that, and that's why we have to say that more. Love Ireland. Stand up for, what's that, Lolamar? I can't really see all of it. Stand up for something. What you gonna stand up for in Ireland? Hold on. Okay, the post been showing right. Love Ireland. Stand up for. I tried to move it up. That didn't do it either. Oh, there you go. Stand up for her hearing on Monday. Send Tristan love. Oh, yeah. No. Love Ireland, stand up for the Palestinians. Absolutely. Love everybody. Stand up for everyone, especially the meek, the voiceless, those who have their power being shut off in rotation like the Americans are starting to talk about. Did anyone find that interesting that now they're starting to treat you in a modern society like you're a Palestinian? I won't think about that. And the other thing is, still haven't heard from Patricia Negron since she had her hearing on Monday. Yeah, send Patricia some love. Absolutely. Because she had that hearing. The good thing though is I think it was, last I heard from her, Lolamar, it was local. She didn't have to go into the courtyard, the courthouse. No viruses have cures, not HIV, not any. Well, you know what? So I think, Lori, on that, I think what we talk about when we talk about that, not cure, it's your body that does the cure, but things that help your body cure. I think that's what we're talking about. I think that's what Susan, I know that's what I'm talking about. I'm not going to speak for Susan. But when I say cure, I mean giving the body the ability to fight it back through immunity, white blood cells, so strongly that you don't have any representations of the disease or the illness. But usually we figure out a lot more than what we ever knew. Like what blew me away, Lori, was, it was going back when they said fungus was the cause of cancer. I think there was like a big thing a few years ago about that. There was a doctor or scientist, I forgot who, he was talking about how viruses can live inside of human cells. Like they go and protect themselves and hide or go dormant in tissue or fat or whatever it was. And that, you know, the reason that you get sick was funguses and viruses and things that are hiding in your body, that your immune system keeps them in check. And if you ever fall back in health, then they thrive again. They come right back. It's like shingles. They say you always have it. Everybody has it. You just don't have any symptoms of it because your body keeps it in check. It's just the danger in the chemotherapy drugs, right? That first class of drugs that are profitable for doctors to actually sell. It's highly dangerous. They're highly dangerous and they're misused. And most doctors I've ever heard have said they're dangerous, that they're overprescribed. And that fits the nature of things because that's what they do with the antibiotics. But when they shut off, some of them shut off, there are two classes of chemotherapy drugs. Don't get me down that road. I haven't looked at it in a long time. One that turns off your immune system, turns off white blood cell production, and the other others that reduce it. If you have to go down that route with your doctor, listen to your doctor. You do what you need to do. You do your research and you listen to what you think you should be doing. But you want to be very hesitant on shutting down all production. You want to lean as much as you can as to leaving your immune system functioning. Inflammation can kill you, but it's not the enemy. And I completely and vehemently disagree with this whole idea of inflammation as the enemy. Inflammation is your body responding and doing something. If you can regulate that, if you get a doctor that's talking about regulating your inflammation, I think you might have a decent one. Right, you've got the ones that just give you, they call it the doctor's candy, these chemotherapy drugs to make you feel better, ignore the problem, make you feel better. You're gonna get yourself in big trouble. But once again, extreme conditions, I tell everybody, you need to have a doctor, a naturopathic doctor that's licensed, and an herbalist, and then you need to have your own critical thought in your brain to go do your own research and figure it out for yourself. Because at the end of the day, nobody is going to take any responsibility for your death but you. No one's going to take any responsibility for your health but you. Gerard, is easy. We know here. Simple solutions. Yeah, most of the solutions are simple, Christine, but they're not profitable. They're simple but not profitable, which is why they're not allowed in the public domain. Isolation is going to kill more elderly than the cuckoo virus. Will it? Why you say that, cuckoo? I mean, Coco. I don't know. Will isolation kill more than the coronavirus? I know that pandemonium will. I know that us going this direction is definitely going to kill more. This ends in world collapse. But we've been saying this for a long time, right? We've been saying that it's fear that kills people. It's the fear that's going to get everybody killed. It's not remaining calm and making wise decisions and being conscious and wise practices. And we don't like to do that. We like to hoard toilet paper and fight in the grocery store. Isolating people is really a bad idea. In terms of psychologically. Physically, yeah, people do have to be isolated. That's what we need to do to prevent the spread. Go ahead, take the vaccine. They're going to make mandatory and you'll shed the virus and be plenty contagious. Patricia Hauser. Yeah, there's a lot to that, which is why, Patricia, I always push people back to Dell for the whole vaccine conversation. I push them back. I've heard enough. I made my decision for my life and what I'm going to do, and I had to make some changes, right? I couldn't keep eating the donuts and Twinkies and Ho-Hos and everything that had a damn commercial. I had to shop in a certain area of the grocery store. I had to be the weirdo reading ingredient labels. I had to, instead of getting the eggs, bacon, breakfast, sausage, and jelly biscuit, I need to make smoothies. I might eat bad breakfasts every now and then, but I had to actually change my whole life to even get to a point where I can say, yeah, I would never take a flu shot. I'd never take a vaccine. I'd die first. I would literally die first. I have no interest in that. If I live on this planet, it's going to be under my own power. It's going to be in my way. And when I go out, it's going to be going out in my way as well. But I don't tell people not to take them because I'm not a virologist. I'm not a epidemiologist. I tell people, go to people who understand the data, who will read it, process it. They have the ability to understand it and regurgitate it in a layman's way where they can make a good decision. I think Dell Big Tree is by far the best. There are a lot of great ones out there, I love Dr. Greger. I love Dr. Greger. I love Dr. Campbell. I love Dr. Oz. There are a whole bunch of good ones. But Dr. Del Bigtree does it best. And his name is Dr. Del Bigtree. It's not Del Bigtree. His name is Dr. Del Bigtree. Okay, that's why he was on the show called The Doctors. I think somebody said earlier he wasn't a doctor. No, his name is Dr. Del Bigtree. Unless I'm wrong. Y'all can tell me if I'm wrong. Okay. But you know what? Let's do this. I want to make sure I'm clarified because now you got me questioning myself. I'm clear. I'm gonna go right out to the high wire. He is a doctor. He goes by the name of Dr. Del Bigtree. If he were saying half of what he does and he was not a doctor, I think they'd have him under the prison by now. The only great way he gets away with what he says, because he has to be a doctor. Don't tell me that it's fake news. He was on the show The Doctors. He a fake doctor? He a TV doctor? He's really smart if he is. I'm pretty sure he's a doctor. Dr. Del Bigtree. It would be interesting to look and see what they say about him on Wikipedia, wouldn't it? He's probably about to come on. Didn't you only come around on around 12 or 1? I usually don't get pop-ups. I don't get pop-ups anymore for like Tony, Ty, people who go live. I haven't gotten a Claudia pop-up in forever. They're people that they keep separate from each other. Yes, loneliness does kill. Who said that? Carolyn, it does. And it's psychological torture. Influencers, which are what people become when they do live streaming and they develop a following where they become activists and they can organize people. The toughest prison in the United States, the toughest section of every prison in the United States, the place where we torture people is in the CMUs, if I remember that right. That's where they put activists. They put activists and terrorists in the CMU, peaceful ones. Because if you can influence people, you are a very real danger. So I'm looking over here, high wire. I think if I go click on this, it's going to probably jack things up for a moment. But I do want to kind of go over there. Have you ever been to the high wire? I almost never go to a site. I just listen to him. Let me show you what I'm looking at. I hardly ever gone over to the site. I mostly just listen to what he says. No, that's not it. And that, in fact, trust, and that's another thing we can talk about. Who do I trust? I trust people who've earned it. And I never trust anybody 100%. I trust people who've earned it for the things they've earned it for. But I trust Del Bigtree on what smoothie to drink. No, I would not. Would I trust my officials in government if they said the Russians were coming? Yes, I would. Would I trust the big pharmaceutical industry on how to heal a body and be healthy? No, I won't. And so that's the thing on trust. But yeah, this is Del right here. That's the high wire. Contact resources news. It says Del Bigtree. Why didn't it say Dr. Del Bigtree? Did we give him that name? But then again, it's kind of like Dr. Sebi. I don't know if Del is a doctor. Where's his bio? A doctor in terms of your medicine. And by your medicine, I mean your medicine. Del is a doctor to me. It's like Dr. Sebi. He's a doctor. Got resources, discussion, blah, 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 blah. They just keep saying Del Bigtree. He was on the show, The Doctors. I don't know his history. But I know he goes for the pharmaceutical industry and they come after him. So I don't know. So maybe is he a scientist? Maybe he's just a scientist. And people call him doctor, like Dr. Sebi. And I'm fine with that. Like, I think that means something to other people. It doesn't really mean a whole lot to me. Because Dr. Sebi is my doctor. He's someone who I look at. I have nurses who are my doctor. I always ask my doctor. I always ask someone who knows more than I do when it comes to something. Is Del a PhD? I don't know, Rebecca. I've never, that's the first time I even asked that. I heard someone ask that question. Yes, Rebecca Moore. A title of a degree. I'm okay, more than a title than a degree. Okay, that's good. I never even knew that. But for most people, it means something. For me, it doesn't mean anything. I don't believe in the pharmaceutical industry. I don't believe in the medical industry. I don't trust them for medicine. I trust them to keep me alive, right? If biologically I can't solve a problem and I need a chemical, but short of that, yeah, I don't trust them. All right, let's start to wrap this up. Let me get out of here. I gotta go, and plus diet. Del Big Tree is about to come on for you, Dr. Big Tree for me, because he actually is my doctor. I trust more of what he says about health and medicine than anybody else. Let me see. Eating healthy, sleep healthy, exercise, health, think deeply, laugh, much love, take no bull. Yes, Lori, that's what we need. That's what builds up a healthy immune system. Gerard, everyone is fed up. Oh, with that topic, yeah. Well, people are fed up. It looks that way, Christine. They didn't like that. I don't know why. It's just it's just old medicine. I don't know why we were even there. I don't know how that happened. I don't know why. Unless I missed something. Unless I missed a comment. I'm always interested in what people do to gain health. The problem is food soon. The big problem. Yes, Christine. Plant seeds. The problem is food. Lettuce is especially. Lettuce is the big one. You can 30 days, right? 40 days. What did I plant the other day? It's a 50-day crop. I forgot what it was. I've been planting so much. I forgot what it was. Planted something was a 50-day crop yesterday. Oh no, cucumbers. That's another good one. That's right, cucumbers. Because there's some that are 50 days, others are 60 days, and they grow like weeds. Especially get them in like an aquaponic system or a Kratky system or something that gives them lots of water. Cucumbers love water, and it'll spit them off the vine. Totally. He is logic, and he does the job perfect. Dr. Thomas Cohen. Okay. Then we should look up Thomas Cohen. I'm mostly worried about, at this point, power shutdowns. Did any state have any yet? Megs, yes, somebody did. Someone mentioned yesterday, I forgot who, that some state or some area had a power shutdown. Power shutdown, the bad thing about the power shutdown is when it happens, we probably won't hear about it for the most part because the power's off. We'll hear rumors about it. That'll create a panic. I don't think that you'll hear anything about mass power shutoffs, but I'm counting on the power going off. I'm prepared. I'm not prepared yet, but I am preparing for that to happen. That's the best way to get people to go home and behave, Megs. If they're in the street rioting or acting a fool, I expect the government to use every tool in their kit. Turning the power off is a big one. When the power's out, people got other problems to worry about, not looting. So they'll do anything they can necessarily to control us. DARPA at Fort Detrick has $2 billion annual budget to discover all the new pathogens with no cures. Lamar, that's scary as hell. That's scary as hell, and it doesn't surprise me. It's scary as hell, and it doesn't surprise me. And I think that's part of why Lolamar, the people in DARPA, the scientists that were interviewed, were like trying to wave caution at the wind. They were telling everybody we shouldn't be here doing this no more, that their mission statements based in Cold War activity, making weapons, not healing people and helping. And that's why I said our best whistleblowers are the agents in these departments. But that's why, once again, CTU, not PTU. We created this environment, and we're keeping it going. We need to let it collapse. Absolutely. Happy spring, happy spring. Yeah, no, he's not an actual doctor. No, he's not. He was on the show, The Doctors, and he's just a very smart person. I think somebody said a PhD. Gotta stop sleeping. Every time we wake up, the world's getting crazy. Don't do that, Rebecca, because you know what? If you stop sleeping, you'll have this thing called sleep deprivation, and the world won't get crazier. But you will. The world will seem normal to you, Rebecca. Don't do that. Don't do that. You'll be like, yeah, this is normal. Oh, this is good. Sleep deprivation make you see things, hallucinate, all kind of crazy stuff. You got to get your sleep. I just laugh at it, Rebecca. I'm not going to let it get to me. I've got things to do, got people to feed, I got lessons to learn, and I can't get excited. Collectively, we're going to earn whatever we get. And I'm fine with whatever that is. Whatever Mother Nature, God, coconuts, the aliens, the Illuminati, the big bankers, like whatever we do, it's all on consent. We earned it as a populace. So maybe that's a good reason to not go to sleep. I'm just saying, I seen the studies on that. It's not pretty. It's not pretty when people, they did studies where people couldn't go to sleep. It's not pretty. It's not, actually my son did that. That was crazy, but they did it for a good reason. It's called Thon. Y'all ever heard of that? That's the first time I heard of it. In college, where they had to stand up for 48 hours and like for a cause, and they couldn't sleep, and so they had things to get people to like dance and play games and stuff, but they had to stand up and stay awake for 48 hours. That's a level of torture I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna do that. I only get 5 hours of sleep. I got issues, Rebecca. I'm getting good sleep. I'm not gonna give myself sleep deprivation. Yes, the high wire, and post it. Dell is a good example of so many things, Lori. He got big and he's staying big and nobody's coming for him. But Dell worked on a show to doctors. I think he thinks about the legal side of being a big influencer, and he is very careful where he steps. Like I said, I thought it was crazy. The first time I joined, it was like, I can't. I was like, these people are nuts. These people are like Rebecca Costello with no sleep. But he's very careful. He's very careful. I fear for him too, Lori, but he knows what he's doing. Like, because I haven't seen Dell pull a punch. I see everybody else pulling punches. That's what I was talking about earlier with, you see Noam Chomsky pull, but Dell's not going after the big mushroom companies and big pharma and the big chemical companies and the government and the police departments. And like, he focuses. He's a very intelligent man. And you know, you have to be smart about, there's a couple of things. He's smart, you gotta be wise, and you gotta be intelligent. It's all of that. And you gotta be aware too, right? He's smart enough to know to pick his battles, and he battles. He's smart enough to know that he couldn't stand on his own, right? So when he was kicked off the show, the doctors, for being honest, for being correct, he had to ally with other scientists and doctors, so he wasn't standing by himself, and he's not an easy target. So if you notice Dell's strategy right now, he's consolidating other doctors and scientists who are also saying, we need to do more testing of vaccines. He's not saying, and I know, once again, I know people don't like it, but if you're really looking at the genius in this man, and he might be an anti-vaxxer, don't get me wrong. He's not saying that. He is, we need to test these things, and this is the reason why. I think he understands, though, that if you test them, it's going to pretty much make a pretty wide anti-vax setup for most people who see the data. But he's smart about it. You know, he's smart about it, and that's why he's still there. And that's why he has 3,000 people in a show, 1,500 people in a show, because he keeps promoting the actual information. And Facebook can shut him off anytime they want. That's why I think they're good people all throughout these organizations. They can turn him off anytime they want. They have no legal obligation to let him keep his platform. A lot of people don't post on Facebook at all anyway. Has Ron? Well, no, Ron was on Facebook the other day, but Ron does a lot of videos on YouTube now. He doesn't do as many on Facebook, but they keep him on there. So I think you got to be very careful where you step. Like, it's this concept of evil. I don't think there's like one evil thing that's just sitting there waiting for you to say that. I just think we're all just people, and there's all these various systems, and it makes up this matrix that's kind of pushing the human race in this foul direction. And you just have to be careful of the toes you step on. If you step on the wrong toes at the wrong time, you create too many enemies, you create legal problems for yourself, you create a monster. And so I watch people like Dell, not just because of what he says in terms of medicine and questioning things and chemicals and Google. I mean, he touches on a lot of stuff now, but I look at how he operates. He's very methodical. He's very thoughtful. And a lot of things he doesn't say, there's some things you got to read between the cracks. Dell hit the nail on the head that old people in Washington State cuckoo virus. Did Dell say that, Miller? Did Dell say that in Miller? I didn't know. Did he call it the cuckoo virus? Oh my gosh! No, he stole it from me. Stop it. Did he call it the cuckoo? Yeah, I think he did. He said, no, I think he said people are cuckoo. I call it the cuckoo virus. I've been calling it day one. It's the cuckoo virus. Day one, I just saw Zika. Day one, that's all I saw mosquitoes, and I thought they were gonna say this one came from mosquitoes again, or bees or something ridiculous. It's always the cuckoo virus, no matter what it is, it's always, because disaster capitalism always takes over. We lose common sense, we act cuckoo, and it doesn't become about the virus at some point in time. It just becomes about the pandemonium and everybody trying to profit off of it. Del Big Tree's nothing if not passionate. Gotta love him. Rebecca, I think that's what kind of does it for me. What does it for me is like the autistic parents. The fact that he actually goes on television or goes on the internet, whatever, and you see the videos of the parents and the family of kids who are harmed by vaccines. That's what got me. It's so hard to watch. I think the worst for me is kids in Yemen. Who's the little girl with Charlotte's Web? Watching her go through seizures because she didn't have Charlotte's Web, that strain of cannabis that turned the seizures off. Watching her body pulsate and like at 7 years old, like being a father, it's so hard to look at that. It's so hard being a parent, being a human being. It got to me. And then she would take the cannabis and it would stop. And then listening to the father say, yeah, I never met my daughter. I never met my daughter until cannabis. It would turn off her seizures because she was having how many seizures a day? Like 15 seizures a day or something. I never knew who my daughter was. And it just broke me down. And so what does it for me with Dell is that when he showed the families of these kids with autism, at that point, it was a wrap for me. It was like every video he makes, I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna support him in any way I can because he's standing up for people who don't have anybody standing up for them. Like all the doctors turned their back. All the doctors, they had Benzes and BMWs and houses, and if they spoke out against whatever the AMA told them to do or told them to say, they lose their licenses. That's the problem with creating a capital-based society, is you make everybody a required sellout to a degree. And so because he stood up for those parents, that's it. And it's, and it's not even just the babies though. It's not even just the little kids. Watching them go through the pain that they do. He put on, it was a young man. It was a young man, I guess he was in his 20s. He was on, I guess the first time he was on, I saw him was last week or 2 weeks ago. Watching a grown man go through the pain he was going through, screaming in agony and pain because he got, was it the flu shot? I forgot which. Anybody who stands up for people, I will always stand with. I'll always stand with. So yeah, anyway, it's that passion. I think Rebecca said that man, he's doing so many beautiful things. He has a very good strategy. He does, Christine, and you can't take on an entire industry without it boggles my mind how smart he is. You still doing the right stuff, G, only better every time because you put humor in it. Oh, thank you, M. Miller. I'm not sure I'm doing the right thing. My interest here is our world is broken and we need to hear from more people. We need to hear more perspectives. We need to talk more. We need to have more discourse. And we do need to laugh. We gotta laugh. We gotta laugh. I still got folks coming at me for laughing about the cuckoo virus. I still got people still upset with me. And I'm like, no, you have to laugh at it. You have to laugh. You can't. It's not that it's funny. It's just that we have real problems. And this is only one of them. We can't dedicate 24/7 everything to one problem. We got a lot. And I find I can deal with it better, M. Miller, if I'm laughing. My problem is I do have passion too. And I take things very seriously. And if I can't step back and look at the ridiculousness of what we created and what we allowed and the ridiculousness of some of the most important people we're ignoring in mass, I laugh at our ignorance. I laugh at the ridiculousness. Most times I'm laughing at myself. I'm laughing at myself that I actually supported this. Like if you want, sometimes I'm mid thought, like it just happened right there. It's just like, I thought about how I used to support this. Like, I did a part of this. I was raised to blame other people, right? And you still got a lot of people who do it. And I try not to say anything when I see it. You still got people like everything is everybody else's fault. It's never their fault. When I laugh at my ignorance that I was so ridiculous that I helped support this system and prop it up. And that's what's kind of behind me, is we need to hear from everybody. We have to have free speech. Oh, is it, Lori? Laughter is the best medicine. When you laugh, there were studies on that. When you laugh, it does something with your immune system and your white blood cells. All right, let me stay on. Yes, the young man was devastating too, so much pain. Imagine the babies, the pain they suffer. Christine, you and I had the same thought when I was watching him go through his pain, and I was watching him move around in the bed and like make noises and pain and struggle. He was a grown man who can say, I'm in pain, I'm hurting. You can point to a doctor and say, I hurt right there, or stop this, or this happened. I think about babies who can't do that, right? They don't have words yet. You know, they're subject to dragoons and druggernauts of an industry that are basically testing on under the auspices that they're trying to help. And most people, I think, in those industries are trying to help, but when you put profit in a spreadsheet, like I said, at the supervisor level, it's done. You have Jack Bowers, but you don't have a system that's utilizing them to be Jack Bowers. If they ever go too far and help too many people, they get shut down because it's not profitable. So yeah, anyway. Make modern state slavery stop. Laughing at yourself means you're a strong person. That's all you can do. You gotta laugh at yourself. I think that's all. You know what, part-time Lori, I think I'm in the Truman Show. I think I'm in the Truman Show. Honestly, I do. I look at Lori, I look at Christine and Rebecca and the rest of you, Lolamar. I was like, y'all ain't real. I'm in the show. Y'all just like, after this is done, y'all go laugh at me and you like eat pizza in the break room or something. I'm waiting for like the lights to fall. I'm like, is this world real? Is this real? Like, did we literally just shut down the world? Somebody hit pause on the world. This ain't real. Ain't no way we shut down the whole world. Somebody just pressed pause. This is not real. I'm like, they over there laughing at me. Yeah, I know it's paranoid, Lori. I know it is. I know y'all after this, like, yeah, we're gonna go to the Truman. We're gonna go to the Truman Room break room, to the Gerard Show break room. We're gonna laugh at this dummy. Did you see today? Oh, we had him going. Would you believe that? Yeah, he believes this is real. Yeah, we can shut down the whole world for a ride. Let's just see what we can do next. As a producer, y'all meet with the producer. What we gonna do next? Oh, alien invasion. That'll be the next thing. And I'm just like, no! But you know what? I'm just kidding. You know what it is, y'all? It's the Lori Show. Lori, you're on the show. I hate to tell you this, girl. I love you to death. But I gotta tell you, I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, Lori. You're on the show. We just don't know how to tell you that. Like, we've been watching you our whole life. We think you are interesting and funny. Cameras are everywhere. When you go look in your medicine, catch camera in there too. You on the show. But we're enjoying your show. We're not supposed to tell you, but we enjoy your show. The problem is when you say that to people, they'll start thinking. Lori, I'm just saying, you can't go to the end of your world. If you find the end of your world, Lori, if you ever take that, go and sail out to the side, you're gonna hit a wall. If you hit that wall, get out the boat, come free yourself. We out here. We live in a beautiful world. You live in a dome. I'm trying to tell you. I know. Now everybody's thinking about it. I want y'all to be crazy as I am. I think about that stuff. I just wonder. I'm not really in a simulation like string theory. Are we constantly going through dimensions and they're spurting off new ideas and dimensions and places, but you're just that one person going through all of it? So I'm paranoid. That's why I laugh. I can't believe it. Like, we literally live in a time where the things that used to make us paranoid seem plausible. And it's just like, oh my God. Anyway, I gotta get going. Listen, it's Gerard. Love y'all to death. Y'all have a wonderful, fantastic day. Tell Big Tree's coming up in a little bit. Make sure you share his content. Love y'all to death. We need a PTU. We need to be preventative in everything. And stop fighting things with force and aggression and violence and thinking that we're right. We're all wrong. Every last one of us. We're all wrong. We just wrong as hell. Every last one of us. But together, we're something beautiful. But we got to go back to being that beautiful thing. Anyway, this is Pat Riley. This is not Pat Riley. This is Gerard. This is Pat Riley singing. There you go. Y'all have a great day. Love y'all. Bye.
wanna free, boom, 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 free the people and Mother Nature too. Close down all the zoos. Do you wanna boom, 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 boom? Do you wanna boom, 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 boom? Do you wanna free,